right this morning then. It's live? What do you mean it's live? We were having a little chimwag by the printer.
Live, we're at the printer.
Where it all happens in any good office, right?
Oh, I love it. How do you sit on this chair? It's so comfy.
I don't. The gas goes in it sometimes.
It is a little far forward.
So if I just see you go, then I'll know what's happened. Good morning. Welcome to Natasha Makes. We were live before we knew it.
Exactly.
Happy days. We're here. Look at these stunners.
They could be earrings.
Bauble-y Christmassy
Exactly.
earrings. They are John Cole Morgan's beautiful designs, and they come in two sizes, 50-inch and 19-inch. So cushion size or this gorgeous. They are beautiful.
What I love about it is, especially in the red one, you can see that it's got like a little windmill to it with the little tiny little shards of pink. But if you go further up, you can follow it round. It's got that little shard. I love them. Absolutely love them.
What can I say? It's just stunning. This is the work of John Cole Morgan, who will be here to show you in just a minute. These are foundation paper pieces. You can hear paper's still in there.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it
not
is.
quilted, because doing 4 in 2 weeks is a bit much.
I mean, we did say you don't really need to do one, John. You don't need to do one. But no, you went all out. So this is the size of the little one.
I know.
Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. This is a show of two halves today because John's going to show you these, and then we are very lucky to have Victoria Pete's cushions.
But
her
you know what a
Christmas
fanboy of
cushions.
hers I am.
You are.
I'm such a geek for
So
Victoria's
when you
patterns.
saw these, there was a small shriek, it would be fair to say.
Just a little bit.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Bit of a shriek. And we had to make calls to Malta, didn't
Might
we?
have, yeah.
To immediately, if not sooner, to see whether or not Vic would mind letting us have the patterns so that we could
I hope
demo
I
them
don't let
here.
her down, that's all I'll say.
But she thinks you've done a wonderful job
she's
of the
very
snowman.
kind. She's very
So
kind.
just don't mess up the reindeer, right? No pressure. Hey, do you want to check my phone? I can say good morning to everyone, please. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't literally check it because, I mean, it's had enough floor time, if I'm honest. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I understand.
You know, when you take off, I always have, what's it called, Gorilla Glass on mine.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, I managed to roll a car down an embankment and spin on my roof in the middle of a dual carriageway. Screen was fine. Absolutely fine.
Love it.
Car shot to pieces.
Love it.
Phone, absolutely fine. So I would always really recommend that kind of stuff. Not rolling your car, that was a silly thing to do. Good morning, Inga. Inga's in as well. Good morning, Inga. How are
Hello.
you? What have you come with? Oh, the DPD man. Has he been?
Yes.
Did he have a label?
Yes.
Amazing.
Nice little bag.
And a nice little bag. Amazing. What's going on here? He actually rang ahead to make sure that we'd actually bothered to pack it. La 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 la. Right, here we go. We've got Liz and Jeanette. Good morning. And Yvonne and Elizabeth. She says, good morning, lovely peeps. Karen, good morning. It's Baltic outside. -3 here.
It was -4 my whole journey in.
Oh.
And my wipers, I got them all working before I got here, before I left the house, absolutely fine. And they froze on the way in.
No.
And but the views coming in.
Stunning. The sunrise
honestly,
was
driving through
phenomenal
Oxfordshire, that
this
whole,
morning.
absolutely, it was
You
worth
kinda
going
don't
in all the
mind it,
back
do you?
roads.
You just don't mind it. If it's gonna be beautiful, it's when it all goes slushy and horrible that I sort of
Yeah,
object.
Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be
Object to
lovely.
Wednesday. There we go. Yeah, that sort of brownie sloshiness. Morning, Pam. So much gorgeousness. Well, yeah, John will be on in a minute. More gorgeousness. Morning, Ed. How you doing? Victoria says, woohoo! Delighted John is on today with my cushions. We all are. To be fair, we all are. Morning, Margaret. Happy Monday. And Liz, good morning. And Sylv Sparkly. She says, totes adorbs.
Yeah.
Yep. Sue and Jill, good morning. And Jenny, she's been busy making her version of John's Carpenter stuff.
Ooh.
Morning, Sean. Morning, Bridget. Morning, Claire. Claire's been busy making pigs and blankets. And not the edible kind. Oh, Gemma.
Gemma, love.
You little tease. Morning, Derek. Morning, both. Love the quotes behind you by John. Yes, they are. They are. And great to see Victoria Pete's goodies on the show. Well, Derek, it's lovely to have you. I was talking about your husband the other day, who does sculpting.
Oh, divine.
But like just as a hobby. you know,
As you do.
as you do, you know, just to whop a bit of marble over from Italy and give it a quick chisel.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, what
Wouldn't
else do you
know
do
how,
on a,
but-
you know,
More power to them.
the mind, I can't work it out. Morning, Geraldine. Oh, she says FPP and I don't get on. That's why John doesn't.
Well, I can safely say if you can do the big one, you will be able to do any tiny piece ever again.
Okay, okay.
'Cause I think
Alice is
doing it-
loving your quilts,
Oh,
as is
thank
Kerry.
you. Thank you.
She's hoping that she can watch this morning, but hope her daughter might have other plans.
That's all right.
That's what children do. They have other plans. Morning, Joan. Very cold here, but pretty. Yeah. I thought of you watching the English Sewing Bee. We're talking about... We're talking about flange. It's not a word we use in Australia.
Did you ever hear about that dreadful moment when I was presenting on Sewing Street with Wendy Orlando?
No.
Now, I had absolutely no clue what the word flange meant in this country.
Oh, well, being South
No clue.
African, right? Okay, yeah.
Well, of course, you know, we
Yeah.
had sanctions, we barely had television.
Yeah.
And then when I said this to
I mean,
Wendy Orlando, and I had this voice of Hannah screaming in my ear, "Don't say that anymore!" I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you?
It's a
Well, I
piece
googled
of
it
fabric.
afterwards.
Oh, well,
I
yeah, no,
googled it
don't
afterwards,
do it
and I
on a
completely
work
understand.
computer.
But when I say Wendy Orlando, I actually think a little bit of wee came out that day. She laughed. I have never seen a human being laugh so much. She couldn't carry on with her demo. It was very funny.
Yeah, I had a flange situation with a couple of presenters, one being Stuart Hillard many years ago, in which the sentence came out, "Nobody wants a wobbly flange," and that went viral. We've got history. Morning, Jojo.
Us too.
Oh, there's a lot of love for Derek as well here this morning. Morning, Maggie. Oh, I've got my glasses. I don't know what I've done with my glasses. I sat on them the other day. I can't find them now. Maggie's looking forward to the show. And Pam's struggling to find us on YouTube. We will be there. Sylv, stop it. Morning, Myra. She says, your shirt better not disappoint. Well, I mean, it's like having a little Christmas
Well, all
outfit
I'm going to
today.
say is that it is Christmas. I know it's still November, but it is Christmas and one must make an effort.
Yeah. And you have made an effort far more than I have.
There is a box of sparklies. What are they?
That's my sparkly box.
That would be a really good thing for my little reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take
We've
it
got
out the
sparklies
box?
on the show tomorrow because we're
Oh,
having
no.
our Christmas wreath along tomorrow.
I'm very
Are
excited.
you wreath
about
alonging
your
with us
wreath-alonging.
tomorrow?
Yeah, with all the time that I've got available, yes.
All the time.
All the time in the world.
Lo
But I
says
have to
there's
say-
lots of words I could say. Lo, you're probably saying them and you'll probably get banned from Facebook again.
You know I got banned
Yeah, I know.
for 24 hours because
For
I said
saying-
the word Stitchy Witchy Wednesday, hello you lovely ladies. That was me gone for 24
Actually,
hours.
Elizabeth got told off for just saying good morning to someone. It's happening all over the shop. Kerry says, I have no idea what a flange is, but it's honestly one
Don't
of
Google
the
it.
funniest words ever heard.
Don't Google it. You've heard it here first.
No,
Do
no,
not
I feel like
Google
I
it.
need to explain
No,
now.
don't. Just leave
No,
it there.
no. Can you pass me that
No.
cushion down there?
Which
Please?
one?
The one with the flange.
You and your flange. There's no flange.
That's flange binding. Flange binding.
Hello. Bing. I'm going to grab the sparkle box now.
Oh, I see. That's how it goes. Flange binding. Right. Syl said that if it was a drinking game, it should be on the floor by now, which is. Oh yeah. So they went on the. John is rifling through. Basically through a glittery box. That doesn't sound right either, does it? And yeah, finding all the sparkles. I know.
I really want to say something about a pearl necklace for the reindeer.
Pearl lace ribbon,
That
I
is
think, is
gorgeous.
probably where we go with that. John,
Sorry.
you're bringing the
You
innuendo
see,
to sewing.
sparkly,
don't you?
shiny, distracted. I'll
Yeah.
stop now. I'm sorry.
It's like having a small magpie in here.
What do you mean small? There's
Well,
nothing
you know.
small about me.
Kerry says she's definitely not Googling it. It is a sewing term, I promise you. I promise you. There we go. Right. Anyway, so John is here. Let me show you the kits because that's going to be really, really helpful. So today, because it is a show of two halves, like having a little Christmas helper. Look at you. Does that go with that one? Nice. We've got 3 different colourways for the quilts. Are you demoing the blue? You are, aren't you?
Yes.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I have to say, the kits are a bit gorgeous today.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Check these out. So.
But you got glitter sparkly as well.
I know. Well, that was you. You were the magpie. Do you know what though?
Oh, it's so
I
beautiful.
just adore this. The bumbleberries in that is just, and then you've got a bit of sparkle in here. I'm not gonna lie, it does spread a bit. Look at those. We have to always put in a little bit of KFC, don't we?
Got to.
I mean,
But I do think
rude
that,
not
especially
to.
in this design, you can see with the KFC, it definitely works. It just adds
It
that extra
does.
bit of colour.
And
Especially in
with
the
your
purpley one behind you,
hang on.
you can see with that gorgeous purple border and the pink corners,
This
it
one.
actually pulls all the colours out of that. It just pops
Yeah.
everything. And on the other side as well, the purple and the pink just pulls the cave out completely.
And this
Oh, just
just
divine.
complements. I can't. Is that the new one? No. Is that the new one? Is that the new fabric? Is it the Calendrium?
Yes. I can't say that word. I say another word and I'm not saying that.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I get confused. It's very easily
And get us
done.
kicking off there. Yeah. Thanks. Caladium.
That's the
Caladium
one.
sounds like palladium. I have to remember,
remember
it
it
as
now.
Saturday night at the Caladium.
Done.
That's how I remember it, and then it keeps us on air, and we're all happy. So these are your 3 different fabric choices, and you can make the big size and the little
You
size
definitely can. I would suggest if you are going to make the big size, make the big size first.
and then
Because then you will have more than enough pieces to make the little one.
Mm-hmm.
You will find if you are scrutinising the quilt, the purpley one.
do we need to scrutinise?
No, it's fine. It's just it's in every single FPP portion. The bottom star at the if you put your hand out, that one right in front of your hand there. No, the big long one, the cave, a little bit over to towards Gemma, other way. No, that way. That one. The one next to it. That one there. I ran out of fabric on the side.
Gemma? She's
Gemma's
over there.
No, she's not there. I'm looking at it. That one there, I did run out of fabric, but what's so great about the cave is that I've actually joined 2 pieces together and you can barely see it because the pattern is so gorgeous you
I
can't
can't
actually
see
tell.
it.
And that's the great thing about
Actually
this is that
can't
if
see
you
it.
do end up being slightly short, you can easily
Oh,
join
now
them
we're
on
talking
without
about
any issue.
Gemma.
Exactly.
She'll be. I can't. Seriously, where?
It's on one of those. Is it that one or the one above? But one of those points is joined. But the great thing is that when you've had to join 2 pieces of fabric together and you can't tell, it just shows that it's going to
still
work
can't see.
absolutely perfectly.
No, I still can't see. Are you
Brilliant.
sure it was on that one?
Promise,
Okay.
100%.
Cool. Right, so that's going to be the first half of the show. You've got your work cut out today,
know.
mister. You
I
really
won't
have.
deny it's the first time I've not quite finished the sample, but there's more than enough to show it off.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, Victoria's so clever. Honestly,
she
I
really
love her
is.
stuff.
She always has.
I think
she
I've
always
got
has
every
been.
one of her patterns now.
Have you?
I have, and I bought this one too. She tried to refund me, and I'm like, no, bye. Refuse, no, bye.
This is
It's
what we've got for you.
just
So I know a lot of you have
adorable.
already bought this, but you're struggling for the fabric bundle. So we've done them separately, so you can get that, and then it might be that you want to make a couple of these. But this is the kit, so you got your carrot and everything else in there, and it will do both of these. And
I
we've
actually
put
think you
in-
could do 3 or 4 of them, depending on how good you are on your cutting on them, because
Okay.
we've cut these bigger,
Right.
that you can make more.
We have put in half a metre of the Lisa Chandler, so that should you wish. Now, the
Pack
binding, flange pack binding,
Mm-hmm.
around the edge, is, it says in the pattern that you need a quarter of a metre, fat quarter.
Yep.
But, with Jane's demo that she did with the Christmas elf, not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, she showed you how to use this to cut it on the bias to get like a swizzle stick, candy cane effect around the border. So that's what we've put in for you, and it's really rather gorgeous. So for those of you that already have Vic Pete's design, fret not. She was worried because obviously she's in Malta. She can't do fabric bundles, which is where we come in. Hurrah.
But the other thing on top of that is as well, a lot of her previous patterns and things as well, the fabric kit would work really well with those.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because the nutcracker and things like that, you
Beautiful.
can definitely do them. The little mouse she did last year, they were gorgeous.
Oh, the mouse.
Oh,
Love the
so
mouse.
adorable.
Love the
And I've
mouse.
actually decided that yesterday I went tonight at, I think I started at 7 p.m. and finished at about 12.
What have you done?
But when I made the two together,
Yeah.
I just sat there and thought, that's it. It's a Victoria Peat day next Monday. That's it. I'm not going to work. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting and making my nutcracker, my mouse, all the hats, everything.
The lot.
The lot.
Ready for
Scour her
Christmas.
website. It's incredible.
She's a good one. She's a good one. John, I'm going to let you come over
No,
here.
this is a comfy chair.
No. You haven't sunk yet.
not
That's
my
why.
doggy.
Go on. Should we dance? There we go.
Love it. And in case you've forgotten, it's Christmas.
Of course you found pink ones.
Well, I'm doing it for the reindeer. Actually, you know what? I'll wear it when I do the reindeer. That makes more sense. So we've got two patterns for you today. This one, which is the miniature, which works out at 14 inches for the actual inner section. And then I've put a border on the side, so it comes in at 19 inches,
Well,
as
that's
I
perfect.
recall.
So you get yourself a 20-inch
Exactly.
cushion thingamajiggy.
Exactly. You can make the border wider if you need to or want to. I do suggest making this first because you'll have loads of pieces left over. What I will say is do one block first. Don't do what I did in my demo of doing them all at the same time, because when you accidentally write bumbleberry there instead of purple and purple instead of bumbleberry, you will pick that up if you're only doing one. So in my demo, I did all four. Awkward, not embarrassing at all. But the great thing is you can actually move the fabrics around as you like, and it still works.
Yeah, so Sue's
really
saying she's a great show today. She's made the Victoria Peat reindeer. She's
Oh, they're
fantastic, but she
amazing.
said start with a large size.
Yes.
Same with, so basically what we're saying about this as well.
Exactly.
And Tracy just loves your reindeer horns.
Oh. They will be back. They will be back. I still can't decide which of these kit colours I like the most, because the great thing, my favourite thing about coming here is that the favourite question at the end is, what are you doing next? And I'm like, yes. And then I get to go and sit with Gemma for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe 3, maybe 4, going through all the different colours and picking things. It's my favourite thing.
And rummage.
Oh.
And what did we find in the
Well,
cafe
the
last
problem-
time?
Forget the cafe. What is that box of fat quarter bundles you've got in the back there with the William Morris that you're hiding from us all? I'm just saying, I've
They
seen
went
it.
out on a really special deal.
No, I'm not.
I
Do
took 20,
not. Shh. I don't need to know this. I have enough fabric. I
I
can't do
took
it.
20 quid off a fat quarter bundle.
Shh. No, I don't need it.
It was for a day only. It was on our actually today we've got 15% off fabrics, just if anyone's interested, you know.
I will say, if you waste an hour of your life going through Natasha's website, your basket will be very full, and it's well worth
How
the
is it
effort.
wasted?
It's well worth the effort. I say wasting because your husband still tell you, oh, you don't need that. That's a waste. You
No,
don't
they
need
don't
it.
know.
Use up what you've got. But remember, fabric hoarding and collecting is a totally different hobby from quilting. This is the second colourway, third
Can I
colourway,
just
blue
say,
colourway.
I love this.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I absolutely adore that.
I love it.
I thought I loved the.
Oh, but that's the thing. Each time you make this was my favourite. I absolutely I love this as a soft little baby quilt, especially with baby quilts when they, you know, little girls or whichever. It's just I love this. I thought it was so beautiful. Then I made that one. I'm like, I'm completely and utterly in love. And then I made this one. I'm like, nope, that's it. This is the one.
It's
just you
it
can't
looks
stop.
like some kind of underwater world.
It does.
It's
and the
phenomenal.
caladium, thank goodness I said that correctly.
Yeah.
That has just worked beautifully as well. It really
job.
is good.
Janine, she says she had such an amazing weekend with 2 parcels of wonderfulness being delivered on Friday and a pizza
divine.
box of goodies on Saturday. She said, I wondered why I was receiving a parcel from a pizza company. Oh, that's us. We use Stephen's account. Spent Saturday. Yeah, so if you've ordered the wreath along or any of the Advent calendars, then expect notification that you've got perishable goods.
We
haven't.
do.
It's fine. Spent Saturday looking at my elf and star table fabric parcels, deciding which to start. Just quilting the elf
Oh.
whilst watching you and have
Of
pressed
these
my
two, is that the elf and the reindeer of this? Oh no, elf.
No, the elf, Jane's elf.
Oh,
Pete's
Jane's
the
elf, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Victoria Pete says, "Oh, a Victoria Pete day. Must tell my family about that."
Oh, I can't wait. I've literally got all of your patterns printed out, ready to go. So this you're going to do 4 of the same block. So your block will look like that.
Hang on.
You can leave it there. That's perfect.
Well,
You're going to have a block like that.
I'll
So
get
that is
there.
the 4. So your bottom left-hand corner will look like that. Your top left-hand corner will look like
so
that.
just keep spinning?
You literally just rotate them around. Your top right-hand corner looks like that, and your bottom right-hand corner looks like that.
God, I love that.
Now, the great thing with FPP is everybody looks at it and goes, oh, no, too difficult. No, not interested. No. The awesome thing about it is this size is actually really good to get you to understand the principles of FPP. So first of all, you've got 2 giant pieces there that you're going to join together. When you've got 2 finished pieces, you lay them on top of each other. And with my patterns, you will see that the corners over here are clipped. And you line that clipped corner up to the top there, onto the edge of the piece beneath it, and you align this clip corner up to the piece beneath it there. And as long as the outer dark line points are matching, you then just stitch down that line. Now, as you all know, I'm the most inaccurate sewer on the planet. I am not pinning. You pin away. I don't mind, whatever works for you. I personally do not pin because I would spend more time pinning than I do sewing, and pins don't quite work out for me that way. And literally all you're doing is you're laying one on top of the other. You take it to your machine, and I'm using the grey Orifal thread because I think it's now really important that you're using colour coordinating threads. And you just sew down the line. I apologise, Bertha, it is quite noisy.
On the line.
On the dark line.
Claire said, "John and I were both brought up abroad. We both had limited access to telly, which means you're missing parts of the UK culture."
That's all right. Flange is a word I don't mind missing.
I mean, yeah. Julia does question whether or not culture is quite the right term.
I love it. Love it.
Elizabeth says, as in yoghurt. It's all going downhill again, isn't it?
I do think my mic should be muted when I'm using Bertha.
Oh, you're all right. Oh, Geraldine says, stick with us and you'll soon be fluent in slang and local terminology.
Well, I've been here 21 years in March, so...
21 years.
21 years. I worked out in January, I think it's January the 27th, I have officially lived in the UK longer than I have in any other country in the world.
So does that make you...
I will always be South African.
Okay.
Always. Now, what I have also found as well, somewhere...
Which bit of South Africa are we from?
Joburg.
Oh, you are?
If you're going anywhere, go to Cape Town. It's gorgeous.
No, I have been to Cape Town. Love Cape Town. It's one of my favourite places
Oh, Cape Town's
on
amazing.
the planet.
Now, if I was a little roly thing, where would I be hiding?
Wow.
There we go. Now, the only issue I've had on this is I printed this, I sent these out to be professionally printed on A1, and when they printed it, all the ink, anytime you put an iron near it, comes off completely, and it just colours everything, and then you've got to clean the iron multiple times. So I'm using this little roller thingy. A rolling pin works as well.
Oh, okay.
As does an iron, but I would suggest that you do put a bit of greaseproof paper in between. But
I think that's fair
for the
enough.
sake of ease, I'm just using my little roly thing. I always press my seams open with FPP, especially when they're this size, because you are doing long arm quilting. You need to make sure that you've got it as flat as you can, because there is a huge lump in this point, for example, there. You've got about 16 layers of fabric, and having that all in one spot, it's not worth it. At least if you split it to 8, it's not too bad. So literally, that is it. You've done it. It's all perfect. It's all ready, and we're now ready for our final piece on this block. So this has got 4 pieces in it, 5 pieces in it. And we've got our navy, our turquoise. So our navy is going to go there, our turquoise is going to go there, our grey is going to go there, and then our grey is going to go there, and our white is going to go there. Now, I beg you, any person starting FPP, cut your fabric bigger than you think you need. That's the piece I need. Look how big my piece of fabric is.
Yeah, just
I
don't
normally
even take
do
the
cut
risk.
it. It's
There's no
honestly
point, is there?
the unpicking, the bias, the stress, it's not worth it. You can see there again, there's my grey piece. This is going into this section there and that section there. The turquoise, especially when you get to these little pieces going diagonally, that's the turquoise piece there. Look how big my piece of fabric is, because I know that if I put that on that border there and fold it over, it'll work.
So is that, which way is the right side of the fabric?
So that's
facing?
the, I'm going to get to that now.
I always get confused.
Perfect. So the easiest way to remember it is on your FPP, when you're finished, the right side of your fabric and the right side of your paper are always pointing out.
Okay.
When you're finished. So when you're starting off, so your first piece over here is my navy. So I line that up. I'm going to have the wrong side of my fabric on the wrong side of my paper.
Right.
That's when you're starting off,
Okay.
okay? And the first thing I would do is I always leave about an inch on this side, because when you do your FPP, you need to have a pointy thing. There we go, pointy thing. This is your stitch line here, but remember, you've got to have 1/4 of an inch past it for your seam allowance. So if I then went and stitched exactly on that line there, the seam will fail because you've got no seam allowance. But if I move that over there, I've got more than enough seam allowance to trim down, and the piece of fabric can be stitched there very, very comfortably. So you've got to follow that principle all around the piece that you're sewing. So this very long triangle, you need to go to about there, following the line here, which is already drawn, and then 1/4 of an inch that way.
Okay.
That just means that's how big the piece of fabric needs to be at a minimum.
Got it.
The more you do it and the more practiced you get at it, the more likely you are to actually then cut smaller pieces, get really cross with yourself, you've cut the piece too small, unpick and do the bloody thing again. So I always cut my pieces more than this, because my own mental health is worth a lot more than a tiny little scrap of fabric that I may throw away. Now I'm folding on. So that was my A1 number. The grey is my A2.
That's the honesty about
But it is, it's true.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
I know, it really is.
And for crying out loud, we all have enough fabric. We can waste 1/4 of an inch.
What?
But it's not a waste, because you're not murdering somebody then. Come on, how many projects have you made where you actually have nearly thrown that, your sewing machine, the nearest family member out the window?
Yeah, generally it goes horribly wrong for me on air. But only I can't.
I did a YouTube live feed the other day on this, and I just did it, and I thought, oh my God, I've made 4 mistakes in the first 12 minutes. This is absurd. And I'm sitting there, half the video is me unpicking. So at this point,
it happens.
Exactly,
And
of course
that's
it
the
does,
thing,
but
isn't
it's
it?
real.
There's
It's
no
real.
point in pretending otherwise.
can't.
There just isn't.
Because anybody watching it going, liar, you made a mistake there. You go, unpick it, do it right, do it properly.
And on other channels, they switch
Gloss
to
over it.
Yeah, you know, go to the presenter to look at some fabric, waft a bit, and then come back and pretend that it.
Frantically stripping away. Now, when you come
that's
to
the
put your
truth
next
of it.
piece on, you're going right side of the fabric here, right side of the fabric here. So they just like normal sewing.
Right
This
side
is right
together.
side, this is right side. So right side to right side. And this is where the origami of it all comes in. So I'm now folding this. We're going to be sewing on this line here. This is number A2. So I put a nice little press line in there. I'm hoping that press, no, of course, I've used the darkest fabric in the history of the universe. You won't be able to see that. And this is where if you put it like that and you fold your piece of paper back, if you stitch that on there, this whole section's empty. So this is the whole trick with FPP. You keep rotating this until when you fold this back, oh my goodness, I could not. When I do this normally, I don't get it that right first time. That's what you're looking for, is when this piece of paper here has got fabric all the way around it, it's now ready to sew.
Right.
Just double check right side to right side.
Kathy says that she loves this pattern. It's so straightforward.
Is that Kathy Friend?
Yeah.
She was one of the first people to buy this pattern
Oh,
about
really?
3 years ago. Now, at this point, pin it within an inch of its life or whatever you need to do, but you're now going to take it to the sewing machine
Okay.
and sew down these lines.
Amazing.
But Kathy, she made a most fabulous colorway in this. She did oranges and teals, and her sewing room, she bought a huge amount of the same fabric. and her whole sewing room was decorated out in this. I think she's got cushions and different pieces in there. It looks fabulous. Right, so at this point, you've now got to be very careful that you don't cut off the bit you've just sewn.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Ask me how I know.
Okay.
So the trick is, these are your raw edges over here. I hold these up and everything I want to keep goes on this side of the sewing line.
Yeah.
So I fold it down, everything I'm keeping goes that side, and then I get my fabulous little ruler. I put that along here, and I'm going to cut off 1/4 of an inch past the sewing line. So everything over here is going to go. Now, do not throw that bit away.
You're going to use it for the
Don't
cushion.
throw that away. Even this bit I wouldn't throw away because some
No.
of these pieces are really small. Now at that point, I'm going to move Victoria over there. Over there. Move that over here.
Oh, Jenny says, I got engaged just outside of Cape Town in Stellenbosch with a ring made in South Africa. I love Stellenbosch.
You're joking. That's exactly what my husband did to me.
Really?
He did.
In Stellenbosch?
It was just it was on the Cape of Agulhas, just down. Gorgeous.
Beautiful. Stellenbosch.
Oh no, he did really well. He did really
he?
well. Yeah. He even in South Africa when you get married. Sorry. So here I set my seam first, and then
Turn it on.
that'd be helpful. Wouldn't
You
it?
can tell us about your...
I'll tell you the story while I set this up. You've got these lovely little presses as well. So in South Africa, there's a thing called lobola, which is basically where you marry an African woman. The person marrying the African woman has to take cows, pigs, animals to the value that the family deemed that the daughter is worth. So my husband went to Hamleys and bought an entire farm animal collection, farmyard, farmhouse, and presented it to my parents as an offering, and they were like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Lost on them, but yeah, but that was my husband did, and then he proposed 3 days later.
Oh, so you knew it was coming then? Or did you not? Yeah.
I knew the minute I met that man, I would marry him and spend the rest of my life with him.
Really?
Tormenting him every single day of his life.
Oh, lucky guy.
And he's still there 15 years later.
Oh, you must be doing something right.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm probably just too expensive to divorce now. Bless him. No, we're very lucky. We're very lucky. So there you go. You make that as flat as you can get it, as flat as you dare. And if you have used an inkjet printer to print this out, double check that you haven't got any printer marks on your ironing board at this point. So this is probably a little small for my liking because literally the fabric ends there and about 1.5 millimeters this way is where it goes. Now I don't trim anything other than what I trimmed there at the beginning. You just leave everything till the end. So that was number 1 to number 2. Then number 3 is going to be this giant turquoise piece over here. And again, just like before, I am pressing on the line I'm going to be sewing on. And I'm taking my turquoisey color over here. Now we're getting to the easy bit because our 1/4 inch seam, you can see I've got my line there. I know that that bit there is staying because that's my A2. You can see I've just stitched the line along there. So when I lay my fabric on there, I can keep, when I fold this back down, I've got a stitch line, so I know how much fabric I'm going to be needing. You can see there's a stitch line there. And again, when I fold the fabric over, the paper over, I can see this is a little bit tight for my liking, the little line that you're taking from the turquoise down, because remember you've got to keep that seam allowance going. So I fold that back and I just slide this over 1/4 inch and then fold it back. That's my line going down there. More than happy with that. That's my line ending there. I'm more than happy with that. And now you sew again. That's exactly the same thing. Along that stitch line.
We do. Hang on. So we do still have the Black Friday offer on.
So what now?
So right, Sue said that she's trying the Black Friday offer, but she said the code is saying it's invalid. If you just check out, Sue, send a little email to info@natashamakes.com and we will refund you anything that is due. Geraldine says, how do you know John?
Who?
Me. I'm just trying to
I can't remember if I picked you up. I can tell you the first time I saw Natasha was at Stitches in 2019, about 4 days before lockdown hit. No, it wasn't. It was mid-February. And I remember seeing her and looking across the room and going, oh my God, it's Natasha. Oh, can't go say hello. I really did. I really, really did. And yeah, and then after a rather dreadful week in my life at a certain company, I dropped you a line.
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked her up
absolutely.
online, basically.
What can I say? You're not the first. Now then, Victoria says, we loved... Right, you're going to have to say this for me.
Franschhoek. Oh,
Yep.
my God.
Gorgeous.
Honestly, if there's a place you want to go and die, if it's not Venice, it's Franschhoek.
I love Venice at
Oh, no,
Christmas.
I've already told Andrew, if anybody ever tells me you've got 3 weeks left to die, it will be in Venice. I'll be on the Grand Piazza eating 3-course meals, drinking limoncello, and then I'll just drop into the canal. More than happy with that.
Just topple in.
Topple in. That's me done. I'm fine.
Margaret says Cape
Do you
Town
know
is
my
lovely.
biggest crush in the entire world?
Go on.
Francesco de Mosto.
Really?
Oh my God, I love that man more than anything in the world. Nothing to look at, but he's the most interesting, amazing, wonderful man. And he's got a palazzo on the Grand Canal.
He has.
And he married a
family.
South African woman. And
Yes,
he's
yes.
he's one of those top 5 people I'd love to have at a dinner table because he's just so
Can I come?
interesting.
Because,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
So, right sides up.
Oh, hang on.
Right
let's have a
sides.
look
No,
at
right
this.
where you are. Right sides up, right sides there. So right sides together.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly like before. I've folded my fold line into the fabric. And I stitch it along. Now over here, can you see the grey is not going to cover this area? So you fold that back. You slide the grey over. You fold it back. And there we go. You've now covered the area that it needs to be. Remember, you've got to have a seam allowance is already marked on here. You need to go 1/4 inch up that way. Sorry, that's really helpful with my finger. 1/4 inch up that way. And then 1/4 inch down there. So you're covered at that point.
Amazing. Elizabeth says that, oh, she's going right sides together, John, right sides together. And
Love
then she
it.
realises that it's a batik. So, of course, they both look right sides.
Correct.
And that's, I mean, that is very forgiving, isn't it? To
It
have
is.
That.
And I always say to people, if you're just starting with FPP, especially like Victoria's amazing patterns, they are perfect for just plain solids because they work so beautifully for there. And FPP is quite complicated and it does freak a lot of people out. So doing something that just makes your life a little easier, like using a solid, I just think make your life easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So exactly like we did before, I'm holding everything that's where the raw edges is that's going to get cut off. I'm holding that up, pressing down paper and everything to go underneath my ruler. And I literally, every single seam, go under your ruler, save it under your ruler. Now, I think we can all agree, those little pieces there, we can let them go. But these pieces here, we're definitely not. We keep them over there.
Elizabeth would like us to live stream that meal.
Oh, God, that would be amazing.
I mean, as long
Who
as
else
I'm not
would you
cooking.
Diane Athill. Did you ever watch the documentary she did on Channel 4?
No.
She was 102, I think, when she died.
Mm-hmm.
But when she was 97 or 98, she did a documentary on Channel 4 and proceeded to tell the entire world all of her sex life. I mean,
Oh, wow.
all of it.
Wow.
And it was, I sat
Wow.
there gripped, and it was like I just went to my local local quilting group, and all these ladies, because I don't know if you've ever done the local sewing group with the ladies, they're filthy. I love it. I can't tell you how much fun I have with them.
I mean, there are a lot of things that I could say about that.
Oh, yes.
And
All
it
of
would
them are
probably
true.
get us taken off. Oh, Sue, bless you. She said, I tried to say hello to Natasha the first year. So SQ was at Festival of Quilts, but she walked away answering her phone and I didn't get a chance again. Do you know, Sue, that year, I was answering the phone, the cat had just been run over.
Oh, no.
So I was on the phone all through Festival of Quilts with the vet.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. He at that point, he
Sue,
was
I
fine.
think you have to forgive her for that then.
So, yeah, sorry about that.
But don't worry, when life comes back normal again, in 2074, we will be able to go and say hello and do it then.
Well, do you know what? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly,
Is
it'll
life
come
gonna be
back.
normal?
When's that?
I don't know.
Don't watch the news, I think it's easier.
Oh, Jojo says, hi, Tash and John. Sorry I'm late. Jojo, Janie's back in tomorrow and we're going to look into that quilt for you. Morning, Laurie. Lovely to have you with us. And Geraldine says, John, you've lost me already.
I'm sorry. I am doing an FPP class for all beginners, showing people how to make things, and it's actually the precursor to the block of the month that we're doing next year.
Oh, yes.
So,
Oh, are we allowed to say anything about block of the month yet? For
if you want
next year.
to, I'm happy.
John's doing us a block of the month. Jane's doing us a block. We've got so many blocks a month going on for next year. It's super exciting. And you are going to be able to subscribe should you wish, so that you never miss a section. And it's really beautiful.
Do you know what you should do?
What should I do?
You should do a discount. If you buy all the blocks of the month, you get like 20% off or something.
Oh, we might have been discussing such exciting things. You never know. You never know.
I like it.
Let's have a look. What else?
So there we go. We've just now pieced our final piece together. Now, at the moment, that doesn't quite look like anything, does it?
I mean,
I'm not really.
I'm
That's
not
going to
lie.
work.
Yeah.
But all you do now is you just do exactly what you've done before, and just press this all down. And once you've got everything all flat as you can get it, that's when the magic happens in turning everything back into something recognizable.
Amazing. So much movement in those.
They really do look like they're moving. So I'm giving that a nice final press all the way along. Isn't Nicholas clever with these things? Oh, Alistair. Why did I call him Nicholas?
I don't know. That threw me. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Sue
I
says I
hadn't
wasn't
realised that
cross life
on the
happens.
pattern, I hadn't realised that my lettering for the words was quite so big. That looks a little distorted. There we go. Too late now.
When it's all printed off, as
Exactly.
we were, you know,
Exactly.
there's quite a lot of pages to that as well.
It is. There's
Yeah.
a lot of pattern pieces for the big one.
That's all right. It's a big one.
It is.
Yeah.
And most of us like a big one. So on that note, I will... On that note, at this point, you're now going to be trimming these down. This is your stitch line. Do not cut on that one. You're looking to cut just past this little light grey one over there. So, but don't cut on the grey one, only because if you move your ruler ever so slightly as you get to the bottom, you then, when you line it up, it won't be quite as straight as you need it to be. I am so bad. I'm so sorry, Natasha. You're trying to be all professional here, and here I come, lowering the tone. I wish you could see. Actually, honestly, I'm actually wondering if you've got a little bit of wee coming out of you now, because you're actually almost on the floor laughing so much.
I'm trying
She
hard
can't
not
breathe. Natasha will be back in when your service will resume at some point. Today is not that hour.
That's so good.
You do wonder why I didn't make it in live telly. You have to ask yourself, really? You're surprised? Really?
It's safer for you here, isn't it, John?
Exactly. What's safer for them?
Anyway, as we were.
Now, when you are trimming these off, on my patterns, you'll see you've got these tiny little edge corner bits over here. Do trim those off, because when you come to line everything up, having those trimmed down does make your life a little bit easier.
Lisa just choked on a sneeze by laughing. Sorry, Lisa. I feel like she'd come with a health warning or something this
It was
morning.
very funny. I had a lady on the retreat this weekend who hadn't come before, and she looked, and at the end of the weekend, she was just staring at me, and I'm like, "You all right?" And she says, "Yeah. It's just so funny because you're like this all the time. This is just who you are. Like when you're making everybody laugh on Natasha, this is just you, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Well,
Yes.
yeah."
Yes. But we we get that quite a lot, especially me and Gemma. It's like,
Oh my God, you two are fabulous. Honestly.
Gemma's got a new pair of glasses.
No, I think my favourite thing of Gemma ever, that note that you posted last week, so Gemma. Just so Gemma. I get distracted easily, leave me alone. But she then put the word please on because she didn't want to appear rude.
So Gemma's got a new pair of glasses.
Right.
And so she wanted to know if she looked like a sexy secretary with her glasses on.
Oh!
So we made we made her do a video where she undoes her hair and
Oh yes, you
flings it
sent it to me. I loved that video. She looked amazing.
I've got to crop it so that I can actually post it on Facebook.
Oh, I think you might need permission for that one. She might get crushed, you don't know. She's a shy girl.
Since when? Since when? It was funny. I can't believe you sent it to everybody.
I'm not
Still says that
everybody.
you sound
How
like
rude.
Muttley. Whilst I'm quietly dying in the corner.
Love it.
Can't help it.
Can't. So exactly like before, you trim
Amazing.
it down, and it now
Amazing.
looks a bit like something you're meant to have. And just like I did with that piece, you now line these two up together.
Oh, look at that.
And you just put them together then.
It just takes
Moments.
any kind of difficulty out of it, doesn't it?
I do think, honestly, if anybody's ever struggled with FPP, doing the larger sections, I do actually think is a lot easier. It takes a little longer to figure out how to do it with the fabric, but once you've mastered the bigger pieces, the smaller pieces are a doddle. Because most people get it wrong because of the angling of the fabric and trying to figure out how big to cut the piece.
Of course, yes.
And my rule of thumb is a fat quarter is usually the right size. Because once you've trimmed it down, then you're fine. But you've got the confidence then of having done the first piece, it fits, it hasn't gone wrong, and it works perfectly.
Amazing.
Might need to just smush that one down. Thank you.
Oh, Rebecca says, I wish I could show you what some lovely child drew in the snow on my drive this morning. Rebecca, when I used to teach maths, at the start of every term, there's a reason that I was called Zero Tolerance Tash.
You were called what?
Zero Tolerance Tash.
Oh, I love
The
it.
staff room. I used to bring my own maths books in from when I was a kid and show them all, you know, this is what I'm not asking you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. These are my maths books. This is how I want it set up. That, you know, classwork or homework, the date, the page, the title, blah, blah, underlined, blah, 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 blah. All of that.
You sound like a really fun teacher.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? And then, but this is the start of the term blurb, isn't it? You know, you've got to have it. And then there
Start
was
as you mean to go on, as
absolutely.
It is.
And then there would be and if any of you draw on your books, I will photocopy it and send it home to your parents.
Oh
This
my.
little voice at the back of the class pipes up. Yeah, she does that.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So yes, I did. And it turns out that actually that was not what they wanted little Johnny doing in the middle of my maths class. So
Funny
I just
that.
I decided I'd let them.
They can sort it out.
Well, do you know what the thing is? You can't tell kids off anymore in schools.
Yes, you see, at my education in South Africa,
A little different.
many people would have gone to prison.
Yeah.
They really would have, because there was no talking. I remember my maths teacher, she was terrifying.
Was she?
No, but she would stand at the front of the class, and if you turned and talked, you'd end up with a rubber duster against your head. The aim of these women.
I know.
But then again, I can actually pick a slipper up and throw it across the room and hit a fly on the other side of the wall.
I mean, that is also a skill.
Indeed. So now we've got the two pieces. So
Rebecca says it's lacking some detail, so she'd grade it a D-. I don't know how much detail
you're going to regret that, Becca. You're going to regret that. That's going to come in. You're going to get some fabulous
Lo said that
felt
when,
tip pens for Christmas there.
when she taught 16 to 19-year-olds, she said, I was told I had to stop saying that I was going to carve in their forehead with a compass. Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like. Oh.
That one's mine. I was trying to figure out, we've both got the same rotary cutter.
Oh, yeah, but Jane tends to use that one, so...
No, that's why I'm just checking, because mine was in the other way round. See? Oh my God, do I use the same rotary cutter as Jane?
Yeah.
I feel semi-professional now. Right, so you've got your two blocks.
Only
Make
semi.
sure they're nice, as flat as you can get. Now, there are only 2 points in the entire, or 4 points in the entire quilt you want to match.
Okay.
These two.
Oh,
and these two.
Okay.
That's it. If you get them wrong, like I did here,
Oh,
no
hang
one's
on.
going to care.
Hang on. Show us which one should wrong.
So over here, you can see I haven't quite made it there, and I haven't quite made it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole world ended.
Oh.
And honestly, if
Disaster.
somebody's lying under your quilt whilst criticising it,
They're
well,
no friend. That's for
if
sure.
you come to a class of mine, I will promote it and tell you what you can do with them. So at that point, line it up. Remember, we are very kind to other people. Be kind to yourself. If you get it wrong, as long as you are enjoying it and doing the best you can, if it doesn't go right, it's okay. Not being kind to yourself is not okay.
Jenny says she's just had notification that DHL are delivering today. Wonder if that's your advent. It should be your advent calendar, Jenny. It should be. I pulled pretty much an all-nighter to get those done last week.
You do know that what happened with me in my advent calendar?
No.
I had it in my basket, was waiting to hear from Sylvia and Joe if they wanted one. I had 3 in the basket, and then when I went to go and press go, they were all gone.
Oh no.
So the moral of the story is buy them anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't have enough stuff to make anymore.
Oh, sweetheart, you're very kind.
But they, what we've done with the advent calendars this year, you know that I hate waste and I hate plastic and all of that jazz. So this year what we've tried to do is make them as recyclable as possible.
Perfect.
So they're coming in recyclable boxes and they're all wrapped in brown paper and everything that can be recycled. So yeah, and each one is individually hand wrapped by one of us here.
Fabulous.
Now I do need to say to you all that at 3 o'clock in the morning when I had finished putting them all together, I found one item.
Oh no!
So out of the 115 advent boxes that I hand packed, someone is missing an item. So can you please?
It's a competition. If you can prove you're missing that one item and what it is, you win Star of the Week.
Oh, okay, that was done on purpose, clearly.
Oh God.
So can you just please, without manhandling your little parcels too much, please just count up and make sure that you've got 25. We've put one in for Christmas Day this year as well.
Ooh. So we've now put the half together.
Amazing.
So I'm not going to press the whole thing because you've got better things to do than watch me press fabric apart. The only one I am going to press apart is at this point over here. I'm just going to use my little roller and get that as flat as I can, so when I join the two halves together, it will be
It's
a
all
lot
good.
easier.
Sue says that she was so good and practiced at dodging the flying board rubber that they made her captain of the dodgeball team.
Oh, I love it! But yeah, the African education was very different to what I hear you have here.
I think it's probably on a par to what we used to have about 50 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
We got everything that you had. Colonialism, all the other bits, you know. I'll leave that
All
there
the-
for
all the fun.
interpretation.
Yeah, there we go.
So
look at that.
we are now taking shape, and again, the points that you're looking to meet are there, there, and there. Okay? If you get them, great. If you don't, your quilt is still beautiful.
Oh,
So
it is. It
at
really
this
is.
point, I make sure that these are pressed open as much as they can be. Now, it's going to be potluck. This is live. What could possibly go wrong? I'll probably run out of bobbin halfway through. In fact, I'm going to change my bobbin now.
Are we on to bobbin chicken?
Oh, I should be all right, actually.
Oh, amazing.
Except I've now oh God, now I've wrapped the robin, wrapped the robin round twice. How the hell have I done that?
Oh, I don't know. But
should have just
Elizabeth
left
says,
well
wow,
alone.
that's good. Geraldine's loving the blue option. Yeah. Lowe's
I-
just filled 10 bobbins. May actually sew something, but no
Oh my God, I
promises.
love. Do you know that's my favourite thing in the world is filling bobbins?
Is it?
I absolutely love it. On my old Janome, I used to sit and I would have one of those bobbin boxes. I got it for Christmas one year, and I literally sat and I filled 58 bobbins in one go. There were 2 missing because I'd stood on them by mistake.
Wow.
But honestly, it was my favourite thing in the world to do. is just
Whenever I get
fill all
new
these bobbins up.
colours, I like to fill
Those-
all the
wow.
bobbins.
If only you knew someone who had a brand new Oracle thread box that you could fill all the different colours in.
Margaret says, you did that last year, Natasha. Day 23 was missing from mine and you sent it later. Oh, yeah, no, I'm human, Margaret, and I'm
Oh God, I hope
still
it's
make-
Margaret's. Oh God, can you
Oh, no,
imagine? It'd be like this little conspiracy against
no,
Margaret that
no.
she's done it. Margaret, if it is you, I think you get more than Star of the Week. That would be quite funny.
No, don't. It's just, honestly, you'd think it would be a really easy thing to do.
Well, how many are in there? 25? What's
25.
25 times 115? Alexa, what's 25 times 115?
Says the accountant in the room.
Oh yeah, you work it out. So it's going to be over 2,800 pieces, isn't it?
It's quite a lot.
And you got one wrong. Oh, I think that's a limit that we can all accept there. Right, I'm going in.
The other thing is,
Now on this, you're going to need a flat surface where you can push things off the table. Hopefully the kits will make it.
do you want me to move them?
No, I'm moving them. Because if I put them here, everybody's going to be distracted by the prettiness. That's the problem.
Elizabeth says that she's exhausted filling the bobbin on the treadle.
Where's your trash can?
In Gemma's office.
Oh, Gemma's handbag.
Gemma's.
I'm never
Oh,
going to live
Geraldine
that
says
one.
that her Alexa's just answered you, John. Did you get it right?
How many was it?
I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. I used to do that on the closing days of sewing quarter.
Do you know that was 3 years ago today
That's crazy,
that
isn't it?
Neil announced it? Yeah. And I was supposed to. I had a job starting as a demonstrator at the end of February,
Did
I ended
you?
up coming in as a presenter.
Amazing. Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yep.
Oh,
I
Colette
met
says
the
that she
Rebecca
got...
Reed to get the job.
Did you?
Yep.
Oh. Colette says that she's got her advent calendar yesterday and transferred it into last
How did
year's
she get a
beautiful
Sunday
box.
delivery?
I don't know. I'm so excited to start opening it on Wednesday. Well, I'm glad they're all coming out. Honestly, our poor DHL guy. I love our DHL guy. I'm just putting it out there. He's fabulous.
Oh, is he nice to look at too?
His wife makes me curry.
Love.
So, he's my favourite
when
DHL guy.
When we moved into the new house, now my husband never looks, ever. Even my husband was hanging out the window. The most beautiful specimen of humanity came and delivered a DHL parcel.
Really?
So now we only order through DHL because he's our local delivery man.
Oh, really?
And he's such a nice man.
Yeah, Rebecca says, thanks for activating my Alexa, John.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we used to...
I'm really bad. If you want me to do it, I can say, Alexa, please sing. I won't say it. It's a fish in the sea. And it's a little... That one, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically how I entertained myself on the last few days of sewing quarter.
Well, I could have imagined that obviously because Captain Small doesn't have a birthday every day, I thought that would be some form of compromise for her that she can say that every day.
Myra says, thanks, John, for awakening Alexa. As bad as Natasha with the shark song. Yeah,
that one, yeah.
But that backfired when some poor lady was watching on repeat in the middle of the night when she was when she couldn't sleep. And suddenly Alexa goes off with Baby Shark and wakes up the whole house.
I love it. Now I'm
Naomi
at that
says,
critical junction now where I probably missed my point. But that is a big lump of fabric that it's going to be sewing over at that point. So if you miss it, be kind to yourself.
No, what do you mean? She says, I've already opened 3 advent calendars.
Do you know that there's a woman in America who gets all the advent calendars and opens the whole thing up as a YouTube video?
That's so wrong.
I was so cross because I managed to get the Missouri Star one.
Yeah.
Second best to you.
Right.
But got that one. And she's opened the whole thing and I was on day 3 before I realised what was happening. You know when you start a video and it's not got any sound and you don't notice it, and I was distracted doing something else and I looked up and saw this thing and I thought, oh, that's really cute. And then when I looked again, I saw there was something else and I was like, oh my God, she's opened the whole thing. And she did, she opened all 25 pieces.
No, that's so naughty.
And the worst is, now I know that it's there. I want to go back and watch it, but... No.
Oh, Myra, I didn't realise, I'd forgotten it was you. She said, Natasha, that was me. I was that poor lady. I'm sorry, Myra. I'm sorry. I'm glad we're still friends.
You should come with a warning label. Please make sure your Alexa is set to silent mode whilst watching this show.
Oh, I just think I should generally just come with a warning label.
Well, yeah, that'd be good
and
too.
And you.
Oh!
Oh, Margaret says, good news. I have 25 items in my pizza box.
Woo! Oh!
Are you ready?
Oh!
Let's have a look.
It's going to be a good week.
Oh, look at that.
You can see.
Oh, John.
That is spot on there.
Yes. Good
spot
job.
on there.
Good job.
And it might be a little bit of fabric manipulation there, but I don't care. I got 2 out of 3. I'm happy with that.
Lo says we need to ask Alexa, what is 100 in Welsh?
What's 100 in Welsh? I'm a bit worried that's something naughty.
Yeah. Do you know, I really shouldn't read out those comments until I've checked it.
So, what?
No.
No, definitely not.
What does it say?
It's really rude.
No, what does it say? Hang on, what have you got to say to it?
Not for on air. Oh no, Gemma's come bursting out of the office saying,
Don't
you do
say
not
that.
ask Alexa that.
What have you not...
Alexa app on your phone, just do not
What
do
have
that
you
while
got to
we're on air,
ask?
because Facebook will kick us right off.
Oh,
What is
really?
No,
the...
you're very naughty.
Lo, message me privately, I need to know.
We asked Alexa to do it, did we? Don't.
Don't.
How do you know these things, Gemma?
I have teenagers.
Oh.
Are those your sexy new glasses? They
Yeah,
are very
oh,
sexy.
Gemma, can you
No, we
come
do
on
like
for a
this.
second? Because
Come on, Gemma,
no,
you look
they've asked us, Geraldine wants to see your
Gemma,
sexy
you can
new
wear the
glasses.
antlers.
I've seen them the other day.
You can wear the antlers.
Come on, come on.
I don't have.
Come and stand next
Come
to me so
on,
I've got a picture with
on,
you on
Gemma.
the worldness. God, she looks so beautiful, but she makes it sound as though she doesn't. You look fabulous. She's got the best eyes.
Now
Like-
take your hair down and
like
give
she's
us
not
the
letting me
whole...
touch it.
Oh,
I feel-
come on,
I feel like I'm one of those
Gemma.
fan people like, hello, celebrity.
Behave.
Never! So at this point, you now will put your border on this side, just literally sewing down. I always put the fabric on the back, so I'll put the fabric like this. This will go to the bottom of the sewing machine, and then when you stitch on, you're following this dark line over here on the stitch line, and then you're doing exactly the same on the sides.
Amazing.
All you're doing is obviously you will start off with a turquoisey triangle, turquoisey square, lining that up there, going to the end, and doing the same on the other side.
Oh.
But I have to just say,
Yeah.
now I know that blue is the most sold colour in everything. You can't deny when you stick that dark blue border on,
I mean, it's
doesn't
a
that
bit
look amazing?
lush, isn't it?
It just,
It-
and this is the bit there where it causes that little curve going through that it just looks like it's moving. So,
John,
yeah.
could you possibly put your shirt near the sewing machine, please? Because Sylv wants to know if it's echinaceas on your shirt.
No, it's not. It's snowmen. It's little snowmen riding a little reindeer, and Rudolph's looking at him and going, "Get off me!" You can see that. Love
There
it.
we go.
And
That
it
is
matches
what is
the quilt
occurring.
actually.
It matches the quilt. There's no snowman on the quilt.
Oh, the colour.
Oh, the colour. Yeah. No, I'll give you the colour.
So with all of this, what I would say the only other tip I have is, now not only am I a little bit OCD, when you cut your borders first on the fabric, put them in a separate bag so that when you're making the quilt, you go, oh, that piece is perfect, and then start cutting through your border and you may not have enough pieces. Ask me how I know. Now we have had a slight variation in this pattern because, as we all know, I'm a little magpie. So the fabric that is my grey is the closest I could find to this gorgeous sparkliness, because this is actually glitter. May I ask you to change camera?
Oh,
now,
yeah.
please? This has actually got a glitter in it. There you can see that beautiful sparkliness. But I took it and went to Sylvia and said, Sylvia, look! Oh my God, glitter, gorgeousness! And Sylvia went, oh, lovely, lovely. And then was put somewhere really safe, and I couldn't find it, like the samples for the last project I did, and that was in a bag that I forgot about. So I then replaced it with this because it was the closest I could find. But it works really well with a darker colour as well, and I do actually think this would give it a little bit more movement than this one, but it was just that I couldn't find this fabric when we went in. And equally, this one over here, for the pinky one over here, sorry, we'll need to change again.
Sorry.
alright.
Sorry. I'm just reading the messages.
You're
Myra
good.
says,
So you can see that that is the colour that we picked initially on this one. It's ever so slightly different and equally as glittery and sparkly. It was just in another box, and I'm sorry I got that wrong. My bad.
oh,
But of course,
John.
it's all Sylvia's fault because she put it somewhere really safe.
Poor Sylvia.
Oh, Sylvia's amazing. She came up, we spent the weekend together at the retreat. She was so lovely. We had a bit of an incident in the studio the other day. We were doing a sale and Sylvia sat down, and I thought Sylvia said, oh, a little bit of weed came out. She didn't say that, but now she's called Lady Tenor.
You're a wrong un. You are a
But
wrong
I have
un.
to say, we do have a heck of a lot of fun. The other tip that is so important for FPP, that was what I was going to show you. Have a box with all your stuff in it, and then every time you do the project, have a bag for each colour. Put the colour in each bag
Oh,
as you
so
go,
organised.
because when you come to do, and there's my border for the miniature that I'm going to make in this colourway, it just will help you so much, making sure that you've got all the colours in the same place, that when you come to make it again, you've got all your pieces there ready to go and be used. It will just
Amazing.
make your life that little bit more
Patricia
easy.
says, hi Natasha and John. My calendar arrived on Saturday and it looks amazing.
Ooh,
I put them all into a lovely basket and can't wait to unwrap them.
fabulous. So that is me. That is the end of my part of the morning.
That is just gorgeous. That blue is just divine.
I love it. Anybody who hasn't seen it yet, we are missing two borders,
Well, that's okay.
but you can tell that that movement that's created, You can see with those dark little spins, it's just really, really pretty. You've got teal borders over here, turquoisey corners in the corner, and this dark navy going all the way around the quilt. And it's just a really fun project. And we've got it in mini as well. So the pattern is, there's two patterns. One is the 50-inch quilt, which are these two. That's 50 inches finished. Roughly, you may end up with maybe 50 and a half, because obviously you've got the seam allowance. And then we've got the miniature one. I've only made one miniature. I know, bad John. Only made 4 quilts in 2 weeks.
I don't know what you
Bad
were.
John. Oh, and then actually I've made 8 quilts in 4 weeks, because I do have to do my own job as well occasionally.
Oh, come on.
You know, it's just rude.
Lois just laughing to herself. She said, how fast did Gemma run in to stop that? You see, I'm very innocent. I don't know about these things.
You talk such tosh. Such tosh tash. So that's the miniature. They're all going to be the same size. This works out to 19 inches finished. So perfect for a cushion. And it just goes really well with these as well. I think you've got enough potentially, if you're really good at it, you may not have enough of the borders to be able to make 2 of those as well as the quilts in the kit.
Do you know what the really good thing is? We sell those batiks by the half metre, so you can
and also this is so good. It is really good. If you are a beginner, I would suggest maybe doing this in a standard, a plain colour first, because the cave is just so beautiful. But honestly, if you haven't got enough to do the corners over here, the pattern is so varied that if you are short a little bit, just stitch a bit on. You're not going to have any
Geraldine
problem.
wants to know when you take the paper out.
Now, my pieces are varied, so I only take the paper out the day I'm quilting it, or the day before I'm quilting it. Literally, I take the papers out, I press it, and it goes on my quilting frame. And the reason being is that there is bias on every single piece, because you've cut it all funny. I'm not an expert on bias by any stretch of imagination, but I do know that the flatter my quilt, the easier it is to quilt. So I wait to the very, very, very last minute to actually do it.
Fabulous.
So the pattern, you've got 50 inches and 19 inches. As always, Natasha prints them out gorgeously. Just need to double check. We're going to have to change the PDF.
Yeah.
Oh, is that just for the printing?
That's just for the
Perfect.
printing.
So when you get
what happens is you get the pattern half in lovely card.
like that.
Yeah.
And it is really lovely.
The
Then the pieces.
FPP gets printed on one side
Yes.
in a lighter weight paper to make it easy for you. Oh, Sylv says, I love the brassica too, and the caladium.
Now, the problem with this
a
one
new
is it's
favourite.
printed on 2 sides.
Yeah, I know.
So I can't show you how to put these together. But what will happen is it'll come printed like that, and you'll trim these all out.
Yeah.
You'll trim these all down the line, and then use masking tape, not sellotape. Sellotape will melt when you iron it. Cut these off and then put masking tape to piece them all together. You'll cut one of them to the line, and then what you'll do is then, once you've cut that one to the line, you then hold that down and then line it up perfectly. You'll see how it works, because it's all triangles. The lines will go in a straight line as you move this up and down, because as you move it up, you can tell the lines aren't working there. And if I move it down too far, it doesn't work. You will find that magic spot where all of your lines match up perfectly. That's where you're going to go.
Perfect.
And the angle, if you get it confused, there you go, you can see it there. The angles are all correct. That's where you're going to cut it out and do it. And it is very easy to tell, because if you do it there, you've got a tiny little gap there, or if you've got it at a bit of the wonk, you might have lined all the lines up, but you haven't got the angles. So when you're piecing them together, that makes your life a lot easier. You've got LaserJet, not inkjet, don't you?
I've got a super duper all
Super
singing,
duper,
all
perfect.
dancing printer. I don't know exactly
Brilliant.
what it is.
So
Elizabeth says, I love the collective Shaggy. And that sounds wrong. The
Not seen
Philip
it.
Jacobs Shaggy.
I haven't seen it. Oh my God,
Very
I have
similar-
seen
it's
it.
very
Sorry, I
similar
didn't
to
know it was
that.
called Shaggy. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's so talented. He was doing photographs of his home the other day. Did you see them?
I've
With all
been.
oh my God, it's amazing.
I've been. I've sat there and well, it's quite an Aladdin's cave, and I was 8.5 months pregnant when I went.
Of course you were.
So
Of course you were.
we had to get the interview in very, very quickly before I dropped Emily.
She gave birth to Emily before anybody thinks she threw her on the floor. Got a snowman. He's so cute. He is so cute. But the great thing about coming here is you get to have a nose in all the things that are there. And I'm just going to put that there and just say, That doesn't look terrible at
Oh,
all.
let's have a look. Oh, yes.
That doesn't look terrible at all. Of course, I started off, of course, being a little bit OTT and thinking 2 eyes.
No,
and everybody
no,
looked at me and
no.
said it looks something like out of Doctor Who.
No, what was that?
But look how pretty that is. And look, it's shiny, sparkly.
What was that thing about the girl, that movie with the girl that had like button eyes? Freaks me out and I can't watch it, and it's a kid's
Annabelle.
cartoon.
Kids' cartoon? What are your kids watching?
No,
I'm
I
glad
don't
we
know,
had
no.
sanctions if that's cartoons in this country.
Oh, Naomi says, Natasha, nothing missing from my advent, but not sure how you fitted them in, as I'm trying to repack it and it's not easy. So here's the thing, right? Order at least 6 envelopes, put those to the left, and then you want to put day 17 and day 20 in the middle, and then you want to put day 24 and, oh God, this is sad that I know most of this.
You did it 115 times in the middle of the night, of course you do.
And then you want to put day 4 and day 23 to one side and day 2 at the top, and then everything else fits in around it. Was the way that I found to do it. Locked. Just. Coraline, yes, Naomi, yes, that's the one.
Oh my God, that was a horror movie as well.
Jane, why
No,
are you
Annabelle.
watching?
Who's
You
Jane?
are on holiday.
Jane Alcock!
Yeah.
I love Jane Alcock. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? We've
Hang
got
on.
the same rotary cutter. I feel like I'm a little bit I know a little bit what I'm doing because we have the same rotary cutter. She's so amazing. I'm such a geek boy fanboy of Jane. Every time I see her in the shop, I'm like, no, don't hide.
Victoria says, oh my word, how gorgeous is that sparkly snowflake? Victoria
How?
Pete,
I know,
very,
I
very
know,
gorgeous.
I know.
I've got pearl ones, not to boast. And
But you see, you know when I was digging in your sparkly box and I saw that can you
Yes,
grab the
sure.
pearl lace? Is the pearl lace going to be on?
it will be.
Can I
I'm
just show the
waiting.
pearl lace? Because it's what's really important is you've got to have options, you know, and sparkle. I love it. Natasha's going, I
waiting.
don't want to go in the box. No, leave me alone. I'm comfortable in my very pink, lovely chair. But.
I'm waiting
like,
for the rest of it to
Oh my
arrive. It's on
goodness,
order.
look how cute that is. I mean, like, really. How cute. They even look like little baby snowflakes. And you can put it on the scarf. You can put it as a
I've got
border.
projects for this. I've
I
got
know you
Tilda
do.
projects for that.
Well, you're going to have to get more of it because that is just a little bit of gorgeousness. But look how beautiful that is. This is what happens when you dig in the boxes and you're not supposed to. It's for another project, John. Yeah, whatever. Get more. Get more. It's fine.
So demanding today.
We have today. Ask Sylvia. I'm demanding all the time. I've appliqued the eyes on, and then you will just applique on a little mouth. I will confess I have never done pipe binding in my entire life, and I said
Sorry,
to
what sort of binding?
piped binding,
What-
piped flange binding. I can do a good flange binding for you, but I think that may get me thrown off the show. So I'm going to then just say simply, Jane is the one you need to teach that. It was Wednesday, not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
I think that was the 17th.
Mm.
Only because I think I was on the 15th, and it was 2 days after that.
Um,
So
you
check the
are
17th.
correct. How do you know
Might be.
these things?
I try and pay attention occasionally.
Oh.
That's what happens with 3 hours sleep. That's what happens.
Why have you only had 3 hours sleep?
Because that's my life. Go and do this in the bias flanged binding. You'll be able to do it that way. And the piped, that would work amazingly. Now, we were debating
and
the
if you are
size.
struggling, then there are. We do even have patterns that show you how
Oh,
to do
perfect. Even better.
how to do cushions like that.
Is it possible to ask the Gemma a question? Because I
Ask the
can't
Gemma
remember
a
what we
question.
decided for the crimson.
I think generally, if you just say something that's going to get us kicked off Facebook.
Oh,
then
no,
she
this is a
just
genuine
appears.
question about the
No, she
size of
just
fabric
appears.
she's used.
Quicker than quickety quick.
What was that thing I had to say on Facebook? on Alexa?
I don't know.
What was
It was
What
Welsh.
Gemma?
She'll be here in a
She
minute.
run away.
Oh, Gillian says, John, now you understand the appeal of having a good snoop in someone else's sewing room.
Oh, so is that Gillian Aird?
Yes.
So Gillian Aird and her sister came, and her niece came round to my studio when it was, hello, darling, did we decide on 1.5 meters? We did. I think we did. I just wanted to check before I said. It's an enormous amount of fabric. So Gillian
have we got
Aird
so
came
much
to my
in there?
studio
Backing.
because
backing.
Jane did it. It wasn't me, it was Jane did it.
Did it?
Jane and
Oh,
I
yeah,
discussed
because she's
it.
not here. And
No,
can't
honestly, Jane
defend
will agree.
herself.
I promise you, Jane will back me up on this. We just sat in it. We thought we didn't know exactly how big it was, so we said, "Oh, let's say it's 20 inches," and then we both agreed you'd probably need about 30 inches for the backing.
We've just told her not to watch.
Sorry, Jane. I'm not throwing you under the bus. It was agreed. But I will say you have got
Yeah.
so much fabric in the kit. You're getting 1.5 meters of this because we wanted to do a different red for the scarf and for the nose. Look at the little nose. And I'm just wondering whether they would work there as well, or as a little like thingy there for Rudolph. Hello.
Hang on.
No, I haven't finished it. I'm sorry. I didn't. But then I did wonder if he had a little thing maybe balancing on his nose. It's like a little snowflake on the top of his nose. I don't know why we have that there.
Too much?
There's never too much. What are you talking about? Look at the little bow snowflake.
Two around.
But then, and then, of course, the pearl things, which are for another project Natasha's going to have to reorder. You can have like a little necklace and everything. I can't wait. I'm excited. So, I haven't finished this only because I
Wanted to demo it.
I'm just going to demo it only because I ran out of time whilst putting this all together. But you have got an ear and you have got a thingy there. And look at the little ear. He's just, every part of these patterns is so cute and adorable. And in the kit that you're going to get, this is the enormous amount of fabric that you're going to get here. I definitely think that if you've done EPP before, you will easily be able to do probably 3 or 4 of these. Now, you've also got her paper patterns, don't you? Jem?
Oh, these ones?
These ones?
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
got many of them.
No, we don't have many of them, but we do have the kits for those people that
Yes.
who've got the paper patterns but haven't.
Now, what I will say to you is, having bought Victoria's patterns on numerous occasions, these are phenomenal. So it's great being able to have these and do them and get them this way. The PDF that comes as well is absolutely amazing as well. This is just a really, the books are so well done, and her printing and patterns and everything make me realise how terribly far I have to go. But my patterns are still lovely. Please buy them. Yes, thank you. One must pay rent. It's important. So if you don't buy it, that's fine. I will just take my feelings of insecurity and run away. It's fine. Whatever. Don't buy my patterns if I can. That is Snowman. And what I love, when you get this ready, she's written Snowman on each one, so you don't get confused as to which one you're doing. So we are now going to make the reindeer antler, and I can keep going for the rest of the day. Natasha, you give me a 5-minute warning when you want me to shut my face and go away.
I wouldn't be so rude.
It's not rude, and I
Just
love
know
it.
that we can't get bacon sandwiches after midday.
But are there Scotch rolls, Scotch eggs?
I
'Cause there's
don't
Scotch
know.
eggs.
We did. Well, we started telling everyone, didn't
I
we?
feel like we should make that a Gemma problem to find out.
That is the first time I've ever seen them have homemade Scotch eggs.
Oh my God, I tell you, I
They
bought 2
were
of them.
phenomenal.
And I took one home, and I actually won't deny I was very tired on the way home, so I stopped, and I may have actually eaten one in the car on the way home, having just eaten one and a sandwich and another sandwich. Oh my God, that was so good. So good. So in Victoria's pattern, you will find a picture of how it all works. When you are doing the piece this way, you need to remember that it is backwards.
Oh.
Ask me how I know.
Oh.
So what you're doing here, that's going to be the back of your piece here. So that's number 32, but in the picture, number 32 is there. This is important because if, like me, you've made number G is going to go next to number 33, not next to number 32, because if you put it next to number 32, you don't have a square anymore.
Oh.
It doesn't work.
Oh.
So you need to make sure that you're putting G10 next to O33. So this is a really good color diagram to make sure that you keep with you the whole way through the process. And what I do is I put them together, lay them all out, and then start picking up the bits as I'm going to do them. I'm going to move my lovely little snowman, and then I'm going to do it how I would do this at home. So we've made the nose. I've done a nice big giant red nose, but Victoria sent me one last night as well, with the nose being the same color as the antlers, because as she quite rightly said, and I am quoting her on this, she says, Rudolph wouldn't get very far without the other reindeer.
Why?
Well, you can't pull one reindeer pulling the whole sleigh. You need all 12 of them, don't you?
Oh, teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
So you can't just have one red nose. They've all got to be different. You can tell my theme for today as well. Really subtle. Now, it is important to pay attention as you lay these out, only because if, like me, you haven't, and you put your pieces together, And when you got your A4 over there and you accidentally put your B2 on
Oh,
your A4.
hang on. Your B2 and your A4.
So this is a piece over here. This little piece over there, I sewed onto there. And then spend a good hour and a half trying to figure out why the hell the pattern didn't work until I realized that I actually should learn to read and move that over there after I'm picking it. So it's really important to lay them out because then you know where they go. And then once you've made them, put them back in the order that they are. So above my G9, which is that one there, I'm going to have A1. Now this will all make a lot more sense when you get your pattern. And Victoria, if this is not how you meant it to be done, I apologize. So you've got A, B, C, D, E.
The antlers just keep getting in shots.
Well, we're building the antlers for the reindeer, you see. So there's our F. So what I've done now is there's my G, my O, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G makes this portion of the pattern there. So that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's this section of the pattern here. And then on this side, it's H, I, J, K, L, M, N makes that. And then you've got O, P, and Q. Do not be put off by the amount of pieces. It honestly comes together really quickly, and by laying it all out this way, you will just make your life a lot easier. And the great thing is when you're doing this, if you've got a piece in here that doesn't make any sense and doesn't fit, it'll say snowman on it and snowman on it. So when you're trying to fit the snowman into the reindeer, it just makes your life a lot easier. And that's why I say that her patterns are much better than mine. Mine are still lovely, buy my patterns, but her patterns are really, really clever. She has really, really nailed this whole pattern writing thing. Because the simple thing of just writing the word reindeer on it just saves you a whole load of trouble.
Pete was the first person to introduce me to foundation paper pieces.
Really?
Mm-hmm,
well, she can teach you then. You can do it.
Yes.
There's your P.
I would need to go on holiday there to do that.
And there's your Q. That's fine. A holiday sounds like a good idea. Do it quick before we get grounded again.
Do you think we're going to be?
I get so upset by the whole process. I'm trying hard not to think about it.
Geraldine says, John, I'm getting headache. Too many numbers and letters.
It is, but the thing is, it is a headache thing until you actually lay it out and you can see it. And I know when you look at me, you're thinking, yeah, right, whatever. But I promise you, if you look at that now, you can see A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah.
That's F and that's G. So that's one triangle. This comes into 3 parts in the end. That's your first part. This is your second part. And then that will be your third part. I promise you, it is a lot easier. It just does take that time. You do need to concentrate. I don't suggest doing this after a gin and tonic. If you wish to, absolutely go wild. Send me photographs of what you make. But if you do get it wrong, please just be kind to yourself.
Possibly Santa will not be being
Well.
towed by that one.
Well.
Claire says that she's playing yarn chicken with her 12th pig body. I mean, these are not sentences that you hear every day.
No.
To be fair, she's been making pigs in blankets.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They are so
yeah.
good.
Very, very sweet.
Now, if you are like me and you want to save fabric, now I'll give you an example. We've given you a long quarter of this,
yes.
okay? You're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. That's how wide they are. So that's probably all the dark brown you're going to need. But we've given you a lot more. No, we've given you more because you can practice.
Yeah.
B, the kit, it's a really great colour to have in your stash. And any other FPP projects you want to do. And I think it's important people like, oh, but I'm overbuying, I'm buying. You're not, because you're going to practice. And people who've never done it before, Victoria's patterns are really good because there's just this little piece here. It's got 3 pieces on it. And if you make it and you make a mistake, and we've only given you a 10-inch square and you've made a mistake, you know, then you've got a problem. But if you love it and you want to make 12 of them, you've got more than enough to do it.
Go for it.
Exactly. Sure, I think I saved the day there. Did I blag my way out of that one?
You can never have too much chocolate.
Exactly. But now, please Usual rules apply. Cut your fabric bigger than you need. Life is too short to go and spend your time unpicking. Right, so we've got three tiny toony pieces. I will hold them there because they're tiny, teeny,
Oh,
toony.
hang on. Whoa.
You can see we've got A1, A2, and A3. Tiny, teeny, toony. So I put my brown fabric on because I know my fabric's going to be the same there. I've got a scrunched up little piece of blue, which I had in my bag from pieces that I'd made last night. Before you use any of them, press them as flat as you can go. That iron is fabulous.
I know. I can't believe that I finally got excited about an iron.
That is gorgeous.
I know. It's sad that we are
We had
this
an incident
excited.
with my iron the other day.
Oh, yeah,
Fell
you
on the floor.
said. Yeah. Sad times.
And irons are not that expensive. I can just go and replace it. And I just feel like I'm one of those people that just moans about things and doesn't fix it. I just feel like...
You, John.
But you know what I mean? You've just got to have that time in your life occasionally. You just, I'm going to have a good old moan about the iron for a good month. And then I'll feel better. Month and a half.
And
I know what'll
5
happen.
minutes.
I'll do it
Quick
so
rant, and
so
it's
often that Sylvia will look at me and say, "We've bought you a really expensive iron for your birthday. Would you just go and use the expensive iron?" They bought me an Alesso. You know those ones that goes, oh,
Oh, yes. But just be careful with those because they ruin you for using another one because you get so used to it just rising up. Yeah, we had a, I think it was Sarah Payne and I had a slight ironing.
Can we just take a moment and just say how fabulous that woman is?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh my God, I
absolutely.
love her so much.
Yes.
Sorry, I just think every now and then we should just take a day of celebration for people like Sarah Payne.
Oh, she's fabulous.
She's amazing. I would say what I want to say, but I'd be swearing on air and I won't do that.
She's my theatre buddy.
She's amazing.
We go to the theatre together because my husband doesn't like theatre, so she's my theatre buddy.
She is so fabulous. She did a live feed the other day and I was in tears watching her. She's just the most incredible, incredible human being. Right.
She often watches the show, actually. She might even
Does
have
she?
heard that. Yeah,
No, she's not going to watch me. She's far too busy. She had such a big sale last week. There's no way she's going to be able to do that.
She might have you on the background.
Right. You see now all I've done is exactly the technique I showed you in my big quilt. I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm folding on the stitch line and now I've done piece A. So all you do now is you trim it down and I get rid of all the bits that I don't need and I press that down. Turn that back on itself. And we've now made our piece A. Can't tell me
Well,
that's not simple.
That was okay.
See?
No, A.
You're hilarious. Oh my goodness, she's had her coffee this morning. I decided not
I've had a jug of coffee.
Oh, I can tell. Well, you've been up since like 3 a.m., haven't you?
Yeah.
You sleep ridiculous amounts of hours.
There's just stuff to do.
Oh, I get that.
Better stuff to do than sleep.
But what was so great on this retreat, so you stumbled, we did the sewing until, I think it was 3:30 on Saturday morning, and then probably 2:30 on Sunday morning. So this piece is made.
Oh, hang on. I was
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
So this piece is made, but I'm putting it back into position.
Upside down, facing
Upside down.
Right, okay.
But what I am going to do very quickly, because I can see that they're there and they're easy to do, what I do now is my P and my Q are just pieces of background fabric.
Have you got to watch them?
Got to watch what?
Your P's and Q's.
P's and Q's, all the way along, all the way along. But what I do here is I normally put this onto a rotating cutting mat because when you're trimming this to size, it's really important that you don't move the piece of paper like that. I love it. Audience are going to go there and go, oh my God, did you see that? He was saying don't move it, and there his ruler picked it up. So that's all lined up perfectly there. You can see I've lined that up perfectly there. Just take your ruler and trim that down. And it's important to make sure that it is the exact size that Victoria has said, because it will just mean when you come to piece it all together, It's so much easier to do. And I'm going to cut my queue out as well.
Oh, the concentration.
Well, with rotary cutters, I think it's really important that you do. Now, I do not promote people cutting things freehand.
No,
Your fingers are a
no.
lot more important. I do this all the time.
Okay.
Do as I say, not as I do.
So would you recommend a smaller rotary
Yes,
cutter?
don't
Okay.
use your 60 millimeter one, because that's a really stupid idea. Only idiots would do that. Hello. Do you know what I've done?
What?
Tracy Perks sent a gift in to you and the girls, and she messaged me yesterday at 6 o'clock to say, don't forget the gift.
Have you?
Tracy, I will post it first class tomorrow. Sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that.
Why remember now?
I was cutting this and I just thought, oh my goodness, Tracy Perk. Poop. Sorry. There we go. So those are the pieces that you need to cut there. So that is, I've got 4 of them done now. And I'm going to do my number B. Now, number B, you do need 3 pieces of brown on this one, but not very big pieces.
Number B.
Letter B. Number B, letter B. Do as I say, not as I do.
Emily's obsessed with which are numbers and which are letters at the moment.
Is she now? I love
So
it.
when we have
is
bedtime
Emily
story,
coping a lot more not having me in her house?
I mean, she's less rude.
I'm very disappointed in that.
But she generally finds other people to take her
Oh my
rudeness
God,
out on.
literally, stranger danger. Why that man in my house? She was so adorable. I love her to bits.
She yeah, I left her this morning saying, Freddie, you're winding me up. Uh-oh.
Now, girls, make sure you pay attention with what B1 and B2 is. I just almost stitched B4 in as B1.
I can tell the concentration.
But you can tell immediately, the more practiced you get at it, the more versed you get. So you're folding on the B1, B2 line to make sure that you've got it in the right place, and B, where you're going to be sewing your brown fabric on. There we go. I feel better now. Paying attention. Do you have a time check?
It is 11:32.
Oh goodness, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I haven't finished your reindeer, but if you watch social media over the next day or 2, it will be there. So you're doing the digital patterns on these as well?
No, we're doing the
Physical ones?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Because then they're all there, aren't they? And
Yeah.
they arrive.
And they are fabulous. How on earth did I do that?
What have you done?
Great skill. I iron it flat and then rotated it and smushed it up again. I've done it again. Right. So that was B2. Now these tiny pieces here, they really are therapeutic to be able to make sure that you get those gorgeous flat angles. So that's going to be my B2, B3 line. I'm taking my piece of fabric over there, remembering this is the piece that you're keeping. That piece there you're keeping. And then this little tiny piece over here is the bit that you're getting rid of. So your raw edges go in the same direction. You stitch along your line. And you roll that back, and everything that you're getting rid of will go on that side of your ruler. And you just press it back.
Yeah, once you get into it.
Honestly, you just, but the thing with
it's
FPP.
just the first bit, but you've got all the instructions
No,
for
it's
that.
it's not even that. With FPP, if you do not do it, the first time when you're learning it, if you don't do it for 15 minutes a day for a month, it's pointless. Don't even try. When you've got the time to be able to give be able to put that time in, do it. Because if you don't do that repetition, you are going to forget, you are going to get it wrong. But the minute you get it, you then stop doing it and forget it again, and it's just not worth it. So just take the time, when you've got time over a couple of weeks, you just do a small piece every month or every day, not every month, every day. Honestly, it will just build it into your brain for the rest of your life. You will never, ever lose it again.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Promise.
When I was training, there's that thing of, especially with the fencing, like getting 10,000 hits.
Exactly.
To ingrain in your muscle memory, but it has to be 10,000 correct hits. Not just
10,000 beating things against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm sure I did that. Pretty sure I did that quite early on.
But you see, what I love about this is now everybody's thinking, well, why on earth would you do those tiny, teeny pieces? But
why, John? Why?
Well, I'll
Why
show you,
would
because the thing is, Victoria's done such a great design on this that when you trim this down, when you put these two together, you will see that you've got this wonderful movement in the fabric to be able to make your piece just that little bit more enjoyable by putting those two tiny, teeny pieces in.
Oh, perfect.
So when I put so I know that A and B go together there, and I'm going to now put these two together. And by putting these two together, I find folding each of the two pieces in half, and finding that halfway line in between, because there's a tiny little bit of overhang on each side. You need to make sure that those are equidistant. And by doing that, as far as I recall, that worked. Victoria, if that's wrong, please can you message in and say that that's wrong now before I stitch it.
Let me just, before you stitch it. Oh, right, okay, we're working against the clock because there is a delay.
Helpful.
Helpful indeed.
But that, you can tell automatically I have done wrong.
Is it done right?
Nope.
Elizabeth says, oh, poor Emily. Don't feel sorry for Emily. There's nothing wrong with that girl at all.
Emily's got it sorted. That girl knows exactly what she's got to do in this world. She's very clever.
That roost, bless her.
When you do it and you then actually see that you haven't got it right, where's your scalpel?
Oh shit, Victoria says, no, P and Q have bits of antler on them.
So she doesn't put it together in thirds like that. I thought doing it in a straight line was easier. Oh gosh. I've just, do as Victoria says, I'm not right.
Oh, what is the colour code for the blue smoke border? Want to buy some extra binding. Oh, Jane, I'll have a little look.
If you go onto the kit,
oh, it should tell you
if you
there.
go onto the kit for the blue smoke border, you'll be able to see the colours in there, and if you then search those colours on the website, you'll be able to find them. Can tell, doesn't matter how good you are at this, you are going to make errors. Be kind to yourself.
It's part and parcel, isn't it?
Exactly. Live things, what can go wrong?
Everything. I think we've both been in that situation. Oh, Helen says it's arrived. Good.
Not jealous at all.
Oh, hang on. Victoria says, yes, I put it together in the same way. It's just that sections P and Q have background fabric plus some dark brown.
Not in this pattern, it doesn't.
La 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 la. I mean, I think it's always good to find that out now.
No, seriously. Victoria, can you pop that there?
Oh, hang on.
That's like P and that's Q, and I'm keeping that line there. But P and Q are just plain background. It's possible I got it wrong, but can we just double check? I don't want to get it wrong. Oh, never mind, scrap that. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sorry, my bad.
Understand?
My bad. if I actually used my eyeballs and didn't have 3 hours sleep, there are 2 tiny, teeny little bits of antler at the bottom there. You're quite right. Sorry, my fault, my error. Completely right.
You see,
God.
you need glasses on. I
No,
need to find my
sleep.
glasses.
I need sleep.
Um,
I said to Sylvia this week, do you think anybody would notice if I just closed the shop and slept all week?
and what was her response?
She said, no. I think Sylvia just wants the week off as well, to be fair.
People would miss you. Yes, Geraldine, I am still having my bulletproof coffees. Absolutely. They are good. They're very good.
Sorry, Victoria.
So, which bit, what are we unpicking and why?
Right.
What's happened?
Reason we're unpicking is between number A and number B. When I stitched them together, I said to you, pick the middle bit and do it. Don't. I was wrong. And I'll show you why now.
Oh, Victoria says that 3 hours sleep is not enough. You should have gone to bed when I told you to.
Yeah.
Crikey.
If I did what everybody told me to do, I'd be a much better human.
But not
I'd be a
as
lot
much
nicer
fun.
human as well.
Oh,
I got really irritated at something recently.
is that not having your hair cut?
Oh God, don't! I was so furious. I
It's
walked
not
in.
just one thing, is it, John?
No, but I walked into I went into the hairdresser, and of course I've got a mop now. It's just doing my head in, and I go in and go, morning, how are you? How do I make? And she's like, you haven't made an appointment. I'm like, your website doesn't. Well, the website's wrong.
Ooh.
Can I finish a sentence? Thank you. I said, in your Facebook's wrong, and I'm like, okay, I'll go now. Thanks. So yes, I still don't know how to make an appointment, but I think it's best I don't.
I think
Right,
maybe
so-
try somewhere else.
Yes, exactly. I just want to go back to my lovely little hairdresser down in southeast London. So what you do is you line
Would
the
that
bottom
be
bit up.
extravagant?
Don't care.
To be fair, I used
I'm
to
worth
drive
it.
from
I'm worth it.
from Cornwall to Leamington to see mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check this works before I tell you.
I mean, it's fine because we're on a close-up, so, you know, no pressure there.
Because I've got my own unpicker on the table somewhere.
Oh, is it this one here?
Yes!
You haven't. I've got it over here.
Why have you nicked my unpicker?
I didn't nick your unpicker.
Right,
It
so
got
what you're
stuck to the
doing
magnetic bit of
is
my computer.
you are lining the bottom sections up of A and B when you do them. If you line the bottom sections up, then this straight line over here will form between your stitch lines along there, and that's what you need. They've got to be identical along there, so you will end up with a little bit of a point at the top, but you line the bottom bits up first. That's the best way of doing that. And look, and you can see that gorgeous little detail that she's put in over there, that tiny little piece. It just creates that extra little gorgeous movement within the piece. I love it.
You missed.
What have I missed?
That
No, on
wasn't-
the other two, yes, I've missed them completely. Completely. And Victoria's sitting there banging her head against the wall. John, you're not doing it right. I'll never get to demo any of her patterns again, will I?
Oh, I can hear the violins from here, John.
Are you
playing
saying
just
I'm...
for you.
Do you know my favourite quote from Gemma ever was this morning?
Oh,
So,
crikey, so
I
recently.
don't know
what have we
whether
said?
everybody knows this, but Natasha's moved into the most amazing place. It's amazing. And it's got a poster on. My favourite thing in the entire world. She has a poster
Oh, here.
on.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
amazing. It's special, amazing, wonderful, lovely. So when I came the first time 2 weeks ago, I just pulled up outside, parked up, no problem, came in, did the show. At the end of it, Gemma went, "You parked in her parking." I said, "Who's parking?" She said, "Natasha." And I was like, "Really? Oh, okay." And she says, "You're very lucky because last time somebody parked in her parking. It was a bit like Hiawatha on crack. She went through with her broom and, get your car." She gets a little bit grumpy. Apparently, whether this is true or not, I might embellish. Me, never. So this morning I pull up and Natasha has rightfully, incorrectly, parked in her/my parking. So I phoned Gemma and I'm like, "Gemma, what do I do? Natasha's parked in my parking."
No,
Gemma, my favourite line out of
you
Gemma ever
FaceTimed
came
her.
where she turned around and she says, "I can't deal with two divas today. Goodbye." It's my favourite. I love it. I love it.
I mean, I just don't know why she's calling herself a diva. I mean,
No, you a diva, not me. You can't deal with two divas today. She's calling us divas. And we're like, no, we're not. we just like things in a certain way. Sylvia is sitting at her computer going, yes.
Oh, morning, April. Nice to have you with us this morning. Susan just says, "Good morning. Love the quilt and John's Christmas shirt."
Oh, thank you.
Elizabeth, do not encourage Gemma. Oh, for goodness sakes, we're being ganged.
Gemma is amazing. Gemma can do whatever she likes.
Gemma does do whatever she likes.
You know, I'm recruiting.
I can hear you laughing, Gem. I bet you're nodding as well, aren't you, in your new glasses?
You don't even need to look at them. The powerful secretary in the corner is nodding in it. I'm currently recruiting as well.
I don't think they've got like lenses in or anything. I bet they're
just the sexy
just
glasses.
to look intelligent.
So I was talking to Sylvia because we're recruiting. We need one more staff member. And I said to her, how on earth are we going to find someone who's going to put up with me? And she says, it's fine. We're just going to get them to watch a live feed of you and then get them to watch, and then they can see if they can put up with you. If not, I'm just taking insurance out for that HR risk.
It's all right. Gemma is our HR.
I love it. Sylvia's mine as well. But yeah, Sylvia firmly agrees. She thinks I should close the shop this week, stay at home and watch television.
I mean, it's Christmas movie time, right?
No, you know what it is? I honestly and truly...
Did you just cut off the wrong bit?
No, I haven't. That awkward moment where you pre-trim and you cut the piece off that you need to do.
No.
Oh my goodness, he's so cute. And then once you put that little piece on, again, you're doing exactly the same as before. You're just trimming these down to the little dotted lines in here.
That's the key, isn't it? So it gets really neat.
But now what I do is I don't trim on the dotted line. I trim just past the dotted line, so the dotted line remains on your piece. Because if you're consistent all the way around, that way then you're sure that you haven't cut the piece a little bit too small by trimming within the dotted line. But equally then, if they're all consistent all the way around, when you try and line them all up, it just works a lot easier having them all really in the same place. So that's my piece C. I know that my piece C has to go in on here with my A and B.
I mean, it's about the only thing that's been PC.
Exactly, PC today. So now I'm lining the bottom bit up first, so then I'm going to have a little bit of an overhang over here, but the bottom bit over here you line up, and then you stitch down that stitch line between B and C.
Oh, Jane's back again. I think you might have gotten away with it.
No, Jane is 100% right. Her measurements were completely right. I know she was. She's very clever, our Jane.
Of course she is. That's why she works here.
Quite right.
I only employ people that are better than me. It's easier
Ain't
that
the
way.
truth? Ain't that the truth? Not that you're not fabulous.
Thank you.
But it does help.
But others are more
No, but
fabulous.
honestly and truly, I do agree with you. I do think you've got to have a really, really strong team. Honestly, my shop wouldn't work without the two girls. It probably will work a lot better without me. But there we go. No, they're amazing. You've got to be able to have a laugh with your team as well.
Oh, we don't do that, do we, Gemma? No laughter here.
Never.
Jenny said that if it was not an hour's drive, I would apply to work with John.
Oh, you would be welcome.
I mean, you could learn another
Look, I am a
language on
nightmare
the
to work
drive.
for, though. And if you move anything,
Oh.
we have a problem. Everything has its space. But I think Sylvia, the more annoyed she gets with me one week, I'll come in and everything's been moved.
Oh, is that if you've annoyed her?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't know. I've never done it. Hey, Sylvia. Sylvia's literally had a heart attack and is having a little bit of a moment, wetting herself on the floor at the moment.
You've got quite a lot of tenor ladies going on today, haven't you,
Oh
John?
my goodness, so poor, poor Sylvia. At the retreat as well, I honestly thought somebody was going to bring her one. It was a really, really good weekend.
So where was it? Where have you been?
Really far. Newport Pagnell. We went to a little stately home,
Where's Newport Pagnell?
hired the stately home out, and we had 28 of us in a little sewing room, and it was really, really good fun. Such an amazing group of women. Everybody laughed and sewed, and our lovely lady, this lady called Kathy, who's Kathy friend, we call her Chatty Kathy. I can't imagine why.
She's been on this morning.
Yes.
Yes.
So Kathy, when I went into a bit of panic mode going, I haven't made Victoria's pieces, will you please help me? She's like, I've made nothing all weekend. And I'm like, but you've chatted and had fun and laughed. That was the whole point. Come and help me with my quilt. And she looked at me and said, no, I'm doing my own thing.
Gillian said it was the best retreat yet.
Aww.
So how do we get invited on these retreats?
Unfortunately, it is by application, so you have to know somebody who's on it.
Okay.
You can welcome to apply, you can come in. The reason being, and it's not that I'm being an idiot on it, it's you know what it's like that you end up going into a sewing room or you go into a group of people and there's one person who always moans. And it doesn't, no, but it doesn't, rote. I may moan, but my God, you laugh about it. But you know what I mean. It's just like you walk in and you're like, oh my goodness. It doesn't matter whether they just won £1 million. They're like, it's still the worst day of their entire life.
Oh, because they got it in £10 notes. So it's
Well, exactly. And you know, you just, but we've been really, really lucky. We've only ever had one incident with somebody who came along, and that was, I had to have a very difficult conversation and say, I'm really sorry, you can't come back. But that
Really?
was,
Do you sack people off
yeah.
your retreats?
yeah,
Do you?
Completely, completely. I made a decision many years ago when I started this business. I will only work with people I love, genuinely like, and want to spend time with. They've got to. It's just life is too short. Bearing in mind, I was nominated for best customer care in the country. In the country for my customer care.
You were not.
I had a lady come into the shop. And she hates me, and I'm okay with that. I don't really think very much. Oh, I don't think of it. And I opened the door, and there she was, and she's like, hello. I said, why are you here? She said, I came to have a look. I said, but you hate me. Why are you here? She said, well, I came to have a look. I said, well, you can't. Get out. I didn't say get out. I said something much ruder. And yeah, that was it.
That was the customer care.
That was my customer. I got nominated that very year. I don't think she voted for me, but there we go. But honestly, I made that rule ages ago. I will not work with people I don't like. It's just not worth it. Life is too short, and if somebody's not going to get you, why bother? And there's so many other shops out there. If you want to go and be mean and horrible to somebody else who wants to take your money, go. I don't want it. I don't want it. Life's too short. And I've been phenomenally lucky, and I'm surrounded by really wonderful people all the way through. So if you put it out there, it'll come, whether they like it or not.
I think that's fair enough.
Sylvia and Joe, though, they do hide sometimes. Because somebody will come in and I'll look and say, I'm going to the bathroom. Jenny Dowen said it best. If you've got somebody who's terrible at front of house, keep them in the bag. So Joe, when I said we were looking at new offices, they said, are we going to get a back room for you to go in?
Oh.
No, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. No. But I tell you, it was one of the other ladies on the retreat. She runs a shop as well. And she's had some really unpleasant experiences. And I can assure you those people would never get away with that with me. And I said to her, go on, just tell them to off. And she said, I could never. And the other day she came really close and she said, oh, it felt so good.
Aww. What have we got? What's Lo saying? I feel Lo is saying things. Lo says, I guarantee no one will want me on a retreat. Lo, we do, because
Lo,
she's going to
you,
do
if
one
nothing
of her...
else, would. The ladies will contest. I had 9 bottles of gin on my desk this weekend.
Isn't that a song? I think the kids sing that at school. Maybe not your version.
And then I bought 36 cans of tonic, and I left, I think, with 16 cans of tonic and almost 9 bottles of gin. But there was some, and the girls were so kind. They bought me the most beautiful bottle of gin as well, which was very kind.
Pam says, are you kidding though? We all want to be on a retreat with you. We do. We do.
Well, I'd happily do them.
Okay, well, we just...
But what it is, and the thing is, and I'm not being an idiot on it, it's just a case, you've got so many people coming. You know, people drive from Yorkshire, from Somerset, all round. And the last thing you want to do when you come on a retreat is go in and you're just going to sit and listen to someone moan and whine and, you know, have a moan, fine, but 20 minutes later, you're done. You finish your moaning, be happy now. Come on, pull yourself towards
I think
yourself.
This has been going on for 20 minutes now.
Exactly, I'm still on it. But honestly, and the thing is as well, that I just won't, you know, there are people that just not going to work, and it's not, you've got to look after everybody.
Aww.
Poor Victoria, she's looking at this and going, oh my God, never again, never
Bridget
again.
says, you haven't hidden when I came in. Phew.
Who's that?
Well, Bridget.
Oh, Bridget's lovely. No, she's really lovely.
There you go, Bridget. You get front
No,
of house
Bridget's
from John.
really lovely. It was a bit awkward, actually. Bridget ordered something, and I looked at her address and said, hang on. So I phoned Sylvia and I said, what number are you in your road? And she said the number. I said, well, this lady's parcel's 10 doors down or 15 doors down. And she said, no, she's not. So Bridget, every time she orders now, if Sylvia's in, Sylvia just takes her order and drops it down the road.
We've been known to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Lo says, I think any retreat I went on would need an X-rated warning. What, and you think one that John runs doesn't?
You'll be
Come
fine.
on, Lo.
You'll be absolutely fine. I was very corrupting this weekend. There was a lady, Lorraine. Lorraine's the lady I told that she should tell people more to piss off. Lorraine, I honestly and truly, honestly, I have never seen a human laugh more infectiously in my life. Her laugh, literally, she's incredible. I absolutely adore her. So it's my life's ambition just to hear Lorraine laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I've stitched these in the right order. Yes, I have. Doing really well, Victoria. Nothing to see here.
Multitasking.
Nothing to see here. But this is the great thing with it. As you get very well versed on it, you will get very, very quick on doing these. And you'll be able to talk complete and utter rubbish. And Victoria's probably looking for a new demonstrator for her patterns. So do let her know once you got the hang of it. Oh, love it!
So is it really important to get it nice and flat?
Yes.
Okay.
That's very important not to rub your iron on it. Don't do what I just did.
Oh, we weren't looking.
Nothing to see here. Hold it flat, don't move it, then you're fine. There we go. Check I did that right. I did. And then we've got this little section down the side here. Remember, cut bigger than you think you need. You
Is that
will
your
always have
mantra?
leftover. So if you don't mind hanging on for another few minutes, maybe 15, we will then have finished half of the process.
I have to say, getting two demos done. Oh.
Bertha's going to
speedy.
move now. I'm determined.
She's shifting it, is she?
I'm going to finish this edge. Only because it's identical on the other side, so you won't be losing anything. And when you're doing this, just use the nose of your iron to push the fabric along. Try not to let the stitching show, and if you do, iron it flat again and then pull it back, because you don't really want your stitches coming through unless you've used the matching thread, and then you won't mind. What's that noise?
Gemma is shredding stuff.
Ah, okay. It's probably my employment contract.
I think we even gave you one, John, don't worry.
I keep coming back, so I can't be doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is my piece E for Echo.
And so you just keep laying them out so that you know
Exactly.
that you've got them in the right place. Cool.
Can you ask Victoria,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you line A to E up to sew onto G, do you fold it in half or do you line it to one side?
I think I'll let you just ask her that.
She'll know what I mean.
Okay.
Right, at this point now, you trim this down and you're getting rid of your excess fabric along the way. And you can see I'm getting rid of, I do this quite a lot, so my pieces are not very big for my wastage. I also value my life expectancy whilst saving pieces, because I need to accept of whether that piece is worth keeping, how long I'm going to live to use up tiny little pieces like that. It's your choice, it's your fabric. Other people make crumb quilts. These are perfect for crumb quilts as well.
What is it?
I've not done one myself, but sorry to interrupt and change the subject. Like before, I'm lining this line up at the bottom here, putting that on there.
And this is all in the instructions. It's
All in the
really
instructions. When in doubt, you could watch this terrible demonstration as well.
You're not selling yourself, John, if you want to do more.
Now, annoyingly, I did a thread. The machine didn't take the first 2 stitches there. I think Bertha needs a service, bless her. Makes me very happy. Look at him.
Oh, look!
Isn't that adorable?
Amazing.
She's so clever. Really, really clever.
She really is. This is, which one would you start with? Would you start with Father
Snowman.
Christmas? Oh, the snowman.
Snowman. She does a Santa hat as well. That's quite a small little piece. That was really good as well. But I would say these are probably not beginner pieces. They're an adventurous beginner. You definitely couldn't do it if you can do FPP. Just take your time on it. It's not going to... You've just got to be kind to yourself, and if you make a mistake, you make a mistake, and you're just going to accept, and you're just going to try again. It's only fabric. My goodness, we've got enough of it. So... Oh, that's easy. So the easiest way of checking this... Never mind. I know exactly what I'm doing here, because what you do... Sorry, I'm asking these questions. So there you go. Now, if you are ever going to pin these, what you're going to do is you're going to take your pin and you're going to stab it through this corner section here, which is where your 2 seam points are going to meet. It might be easier if we do it there.
Bear with me, caller. Ooh.
So you can see my pin has gone through that point where the 2 meet. And then when I'm stitching it onto this section, sorry, I'm going to have to just do this quickly. You're going to put the pin through that same point. Crying out loud. I have 28 holes in my piece before I go. There we go. So you want that piece, the pin, through that same point where your seams meet. So if you do that, line your pieces up, get your pin, I can do it that way, you can see your pin there. First of all, is horizontal to the floor, to the table, but equally is then straight on like that. You can see that that's straight. Once you've done that, squeeze as if your life depends on it, so that these pieces don't move. Because if you move this pin and your fabric's moving, that's you've done something wrong. Then all you do is just do a contortionate act and pierce your pin through the paper over there. You can see the pins come through. And by doing that, you know that that is the exact point where that's going to go through. And then on this side, you do exactly the same thing, but you don't need to because they line up perfectly. And then you just stitch down this stitch line over here. I'm putting my G for golf piece at the bottom, only because I've got more pieces at the top that I want to make sure that my seams remain open. Many people don't press their seams open with FPP. That is a personal choice of mine, only because I do try and quilt them, and the less layers, the better. Right, so that is one pair of... Oh my God. It's an ear and an antler. I'm going to just press my seam open quickly.
You were doing a big reveal.
I was doing a little bit of a dance there because that's just too cute and adorable. Just so cute. Now the thing with using a really, really hot iron, when you're using a darker colour like a brown, I would just say to you, turn your iron down while you're pressing from the front, because you'll find the darker your colour, the more likely the colour is to fade as you're pressing. Because the more you press on it, you'll find that there'll be slight discolorations on your fabric. If you can see just over there, It's really tiny, but on those stitch lines there, there's a tiny little bit of fading on there. So if you're precious about that, make sure you use maybe one of those rollers or your fingers to get that done and go
And
from
that's
there.
just the heat that's doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the F piece is 100% background. Got it right this time, Victoria. So I'm going to take a piece that's big
Are you
enough
sure?
there.
You
I'm
haven't missed
100%
anything?
sure. I've triple checked this time.
What do you have to say? 100, 100, 100 in a...
I don't know that one. You're going to have to do
I
it
don't
afterwards.
know. I don't know. We will. We'll
Don't do it. Gemma will
not-
be through here like crazy.
Oh, no, no, no. I know.
Should we see how fast Gemma can run from the shredder? I think Josh would take
It's a
your
whole
fare,
new-
wouldn't he?
Whole new game. Watch Gemma run. She's not going to like that.
Ooh, I like this. Actually, no, I want to go for a Scotch egg with Gemma in a bit. She's lovely. We don't want to make her
I
own.
don't know if they've got Scotch eggs.
No,
I
they're
don't
going to
want
have
you
them. I know they
your,
are.
your
But if they
hopes up.
don't, they'll have something equally as lovely.
Oh, they really will.
They really will. Well, their tuna roll the other day was their egg roll was divine.
You had half egg, half tuna, didn't
Half egg, half tuna
Yeah.
as a baguette because you can't eat. Eggs aren't really socially acceptable in a work environment. It's a good thing I don't work here, is it?
you? We're just driving home.
Now, when you've got a loose piece of fabric like this, just as a border piece, you will find this is one of the few times in my life I will actually pin, because you want to make sure that you keep that shape, especially when you're sewing this onto another piece. You've got to keep that angle. Now, top tip to know whether you've got this the right way round. Your lettering will all be in the same direction. If you've got your F piece like that, and your F is upside down and your E is the right way round, you've got it wrong. Check. Everything should be legible the right way round. Okay, and again, that little trick I showed you with checking the little start-stop point of your seams. Move your piece of fabric around until you've got that right. That was the bit that I showed you with the pin. I'll do it again now once I've got... Ow!
Oh.
This is why I hate using pins. I always stab myself.
Could you just go a little bit closer so we can
I
see?
can indeed.
I was gonna say, so we see the blood.
You see the blood dripping off. Don't joke, on the front of my pattern there is blood because
Oh,
I
no.
stabbed myself getting something out of the bag yesterday. So exactly like before, I'm stabbing my pin into the point where those meet, and then I'm pushing it through to the other side. Oh, that brings me enormous joy. You can see I've now pierced that piece over there as well.
Perfect.
So exactly like before. My gosh, I've got 2 pins. That's mad for me. And I stab that through there. And I'm ready to now sew those together. I'm being a rebel and only using 1 pin.
Steady.
I know. And now I'm taking it out now that the fabric is under my sewing foot.
Hardly worth putting in, really, is it? Oh, hello. What's going on here?
Oh, I'm excited. Tell me.
Lowe's new iron is arriving today.
Oh.
Yep, Elizabeth's excited for it.
What did she
Myra
get?
wants to know what she get. Exactly what Myra just asked. Yeah, Myra says she's still looking at the chocolate machine thingy, the velvetizer.
Buy it.
I'm still
I'm
trying to
going to
decide.
say nothing more. Buy it. So good.
Is it?
So good. You don't
Is
need
it?
it. You don't need it.
I
You have
don't need
children. Don't do it.
Oh, no, I was going to leave it here for start.
Oh, do it. Yes.
Okay,
No,
right.
do it. Do it.
Um,
I won't say that the copper one is my favourite. I won't say that.
okay.
But if you do it, let me know, because when there's a Black Friday sale, I'll just have my selection sent here and you can put it in my little box in the end, just saying for John only.
Amazing. Lo said that she's get the same one as us. Oh, there we go.
Right, and I'm now pressing my seam open again. Now here you're going to make a judgment call, because I've actually just realised with doing my seams open here, it means I'm actually doubling up the bulk on this side. So I'm actually going to press my seams towards the F, because as you're pressing this open, I've got a massive bulk over there, and by pushing it down this way, I'm putting bulk on bulk. But this is an empty piece of fabric, so I'm going to press them to that side there. Right, now I'm not going to show you what we've made, only because it is so cute and I want to do a proper reveal. And I'm just pressing this down properly now. So last 2 things I'm going to do is these 2 little antler pieces over here, which I forgot. So like the last one, I'm just going to use a little pin to attach my background fabric to my piece of paper. because when you've got a bigger background piece than normal, you will end up moving the fabric, and it just makes your life that little bit easier. So this tiny piece is really tiny, and it's lovely. I love it. So I'm going to just put that on very quickly. This is only going to need, for this seam, you're only going to need 2 or 3 stitches. So just make sure that your stitch length is about 1.5. With a smaller piece like this, I do try and do 1 or 2 stitches past the normal stitch line, only because it's such a small piece. You want the piece to actually hold. You don't want to lose it as you trim it off. I'm not using a ruler because I've done this many times, and I know what a 1/4 inch looks like on here. I'm still keeping my pin in place. If I'd been clever, I would have asked Natasha for the heat-proof pins to avoid...
They're right in front of you, right in front of the pearly stuff.
Oh! There we go. I'll put that there. And now I'm putting on my last piece onto my P section. Be rude. Go on. You know you want to.
I'm not saying a thing.
You know you want to. Right, this is P3. This is antler, isn't it? Oh, thank goodness. I had this horrible feeling I just used the wrong colour. So just like we did in the first piece that I was demonstrating, your fold is at an angle. So that's the fold line there, the stitch line there. So when you attach your fabric on, if you do it like that, you're not going to get it on. This is the fabric that's going to be left over. So you need to rotate your fabric more like that to be able to make sure that you've got enough fabric once you've stitched it on. Right, fold everything back that you want to keep. And we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more seams to go, and my demo will be over. So if you're bored, you've got 5 seams to go. If you're not bored, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, you're over in 5 minutes. If you're having too much fun, we've only got 5 more seams to go.
Oh. Oh, Myra says that if Lo comes on one of the retreats, then we'd all need to have a detox week afterwards.
Quite right. Well, it's at a spa hotel, so they are quite good.
Does that count then? I mean, do you just, you know, like by osmosis?
I just love them. For me, it's just being able to sit in a room with all of the people that I've become really good friends with and just laugh.
Well, that sounds dreadful, John.
It's
I don't really
terrible.
want to do that.
It's terrible. And we start the Friday afternoon. Obviously, this time we had 26 people, 28 people on the retreat. But what we do is we have start off by meet and greet. So you all get there for about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And once everybody is there, we all then just introduce ourselves, and we did the Secret Santa game.
Oh.
Have you ever played the Secret Santa game the way I do it?
No.
So
Yeah,
you bring your Secret Santa gift.
Scared, right?
You bring your Secret Santa gift. You put it on the table. You sit down, you go around, introduce anybody. Now remember, a lot of these women haven't got a clue who the other people are. And then we put the Secret Santa, you each get a playing card. And then with the playing card, you go and pick your Secret Santa gift, the one you want. You unwrap it. And then round 2, all the people get to come and steal your Secret Santa gift.
What?
Oh, it's fabulous. It's really, really, really competitive.
Competitive Secret Santa? Only you could make Secret Santa
It really,
competitive.
really works, and it was quite fun to see how complete newbies. We had a new lady called Shazzy join us. Shanaz, she's on here as well. She's so lovely, and she joined us, and she ended up stealing. Somebody had stolen somebody's Secret Santa, and she was a little bit upset, so she went and stole it back.
Oh.
Which is, you know, it's just, it was a really nice. It was really, really nice to be able to see.
We've started something, John.
Oh yes.
Because Lo now is wondering what else she can say to make Gemma run.
Gemma, I'm sorry. Wasn't me, it was Lo.
Elizabeth says she's howling. Myra says, try fire. It might be.
That's quite funny, actually. The problem is, if anybody shouts fire, I'm getting all the boxes of K Facet in between my teeth as I run out the door. And that box of fat quarters, actually.
Oh, it's all good, isn't it? Myra said mine would be egg and bacon roll. I mean,
Ooh,
yeah,
I
you've
won't
got a
deny what I
point.
would have done this morning for an egg and bacon roll.
They might still have some joy.
Oh, they don't. They'll have got something there. I don't care. Like, I need an egg and bacon roll. I saw Jenny Raymond. She came to teach the retreat this weekend.
Oh, I love Jenny.
You know what I love
Raymond.
about Jenny?
There's
gonna
so
kill
many
me for
things
saying
to love
that.
about Jenny.
So she turned to me and she says, "Oh, you're looking so good. I thought you were trying to lose weight." Thanks, Jenny. Thanks.
Only Jenny.
I love her to pieces. She is one of my most favourite humans. I love her to bits. But she's not wrong. And I love her for it. And she, honestly and truly, she meant it as the kindest thing, because I know what she's like. She was no malice in it at all. It was just the way she said it. I just looked at her and thought, if you were anybody else, you'd be dead.
Just dead to me. Oh.
No, dead.
Oh, right. That's the difference between us and South African, right?
Yep.
You just take it to that next extreme, don't you, John?
Yep.
You'd have to catch her though. I bet she can run fast, Jenny.
Listen, to be fair,
You know she scoots down the
a
down the town
sloth could
centre.
outdo me. I've been lucky enough to be able to be a guest in Jenny's home. I've gone for a walk with Jenny, or should I say I've tried to keep up with Jenny.
up.
She said, "Oh, we're going to go for a walk." I said, "Jenny, I'm not going for one of your walks. You go for like 4 weeks." And I said, "I could probably do a mile at a push, and you'll have to do it really slowly." And half the way through, she says, "I'll just go and sit over there and wait for you." And there she went, whoosh, off she went. No, I adore Jenny. She's lovely.
She's a good egg.
And a really good teacher as well.
Oh, the things she does.
Oh, she's
Their twiddles and
incredible.
fiddles is phenomenal. Talking of twiddling and fiddling, how are you getting on over there?
Almost done. One more seam here,
Amazing.
and this is done. There we go. So this is now our block Q that's done. And I do have to apologise. This is not my usual standard. I normally would have had a completed project and a sample ready to go. So I
Oh,
apologise that the
John,
reindeer
don't
is
be
not
silly.
finished. But I did think that at least with the...
You did finish the snowman, to
I
be
did.
fair. I mean, so you have had
And I did
a-
do 4 quilts, and I'd made 3 of my own through the week. It's been a bit mental.
hardly a part-timer, are you?
And there, I don't know what's happened at the top there. There we go. That is our number Q, and now we just trim that down. Now remember, tomorrow is the day that Natasha's going to be selling all the sparkly stuff.
Oh, with our wreath along.
So make sure, if you are thinking like me, that we need to have a few little embellishments onto the
A spotto sparkle.
sparkle.
Spot sparkle. They're lovely.
They
And
really
any that
are.
we have left over, I'm
Are
just
coming
going
to me.
Oh, I was just going to do an entire Christmas tree just in the sparkly things. What have you lost? You're
See, I
looking like-
count my pins in and out because I'm always
Do
in my
you?
slippers.
Oh.
Everybody thinks I'm lying, but every single time I walk into anywhere that I'm working, my slippers go on immediately. Mainly so that I can throw it across the room if I need to.
Amazing.
Why did I not think of using the studio lights for this before?
I mean, I don't know, because they're pretty epic.
There we go. So that's what we're doing exactly like we did before. Putting the pin through the point at the top and at the bottom.
Oh, the suspense, John. The suspense.
There's only one more seam after this.
So, things to mention when people are doing foundation paper piecing: shorten your stitch length. Replace your needle afterwards because you will have blunted it slightly on the paper.
And your rotary cutter blade.
And yeah, or just have a dedicated.
But even if it's
FPP.
dedicated, replace
You're still
them.
going to need to
Much
replace
easier.
it, sure. Yeah.
And I do think my top tip for FPP, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to make an error. If your thing to make you feel better is a box of chocolates, biscuits, whatever, have them next door to you. Give yourself that break and go and do it, because you just need to recognize you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are at the process, you are going to make mistakes. So get yourself a little box of biscuits to keep you going if you get it wrong. And if you get it right, you can always have a box, a biscuit for doing it right.
Mm. I mean, it is the box of
You
biscuits
can see why I
that
haven't
does
lost any weight, can't you?
all the good things.
Especially with the amount of FPP I've done in the last 2 weeks. Come on. Ah, perfect. So that is the point where you're looking for exactly at the point of each of them.
Go on a close up there, John.
So you're at that, you've got that
Beautiful.
little point going through there. You can see the pin's gone through there. Pin's gone through it at that side as well. You're then lining up this stitch line, which is ready to go.
Nice, yeah. And then do you just want to show us the line that we're going to stitch
I will
on, just
do.
so everyone can have an idea?
Of course. I'm pinning it down now because I think it's a lot easier to pin when you're at this silly angle than it is when you're trying to put it on the machine. And I'm going to use 2 pins on this one. Can you believe it?
Steady.
The shock of it all.
Steady. Look at the concentration. So we nearly have half a deer head, is that what you're telling me?
Reindeer head?
Still a deer.
True, but it's reindeer. It's important. She's ignoring me completely now. So what I've done is I've pinned this all in. And now we're going to stitch along this dark line all the way along.
Is this the last line?
This is the last line for the
Amazing.
section of this demo. Then Victoria can use a sigh of relief and say, oh God, thank goodness that's over.
Pretty sure she's not.
And go, oh, at least it was only the once. But I have to say, she is incredibly good at her patterns. They are well worth the money. I want to say mine are as good, but they're not. Mine are still good. Buy my patterns. I've got rent to pay. There we go.
You're a nightmare, Jonathan.
Oh, my goodness.
Do you get called Jonathan?
Huh?
Do you ever get called Jonathan?
No, because I was John.
Are you not a Jonathan?
No,
You're
John.
just a John.
Because my grandfather was John, my great-grandfather was John, my great-great-grandfather was John, and my father's father was John.
Wow, that's a lot of Johns. How's it looking? Are you pleased?
When you line your pins up, line the pin up at the bottom. Poop.
Have you over-egged it by a bit?
I've done it on the wrong
Let's
end.
have a look. Just spin it around. Let's have a
So
look.
it still looks fabulous,
Oh, yes,
but what it is over here,
I can't see. Where have you gone wrong?
that little line there is meant to meet that little line there.
Okay.
And then when you're lining the dots up at the bottom, if you line the bottom dot up rather than the top dot, it will work.
We'll line
So
them
that's
both.
my error. It's my fault. It's my error. Because everything else I'd lined up from the bottom, but I haven't from this one. Did you throw that rotary cutter at me?
What rotary cutter?
The one there by your laptop.
Unpicker?
Yeah, that one. The thread rotary cutter, that one.
That one.
I'm going
That
to have to
one.
do this right, otherwise Victoria will never have me back.
Oh.
I have to. But look, at this point, it doesn't matter who you are, you will make errors on this. Just do be kind to yourself. At this point, I'd probably have poured myself a gin and tonic, cup of tea, a biscuit, whatever's going to do it for you. What I will say with FPP is if you are unpicking, save yourself a nightmare at the end. Pick every thread out now, because those
rather than
tiny
having
little
to-
threads
yeah.
will stick in your fabric. So make sure you've got every single thread out, otherwise it'll be there all the time.
John, I'm going to let you unpick that. We'll put a photo of that on the Book of Faces when it is done.
Happy?
Yes?
Happy?
Happy, happy?
There could be quite a few book of faces with me. It's the disapproving one, which is a bit like,
Oh.
really?
Talking of faces, let's go fill our faces with some food.
Can't
It's
wait.
lunchtime.
Can't wait.
John,
So I
thank
promise
you.
I will post a finished picture of this later. Victoria, sorry I messed that bit up. Her pattern, physical one, is lovely. Make sure you get it. It's really lovely. I was very pleased she sent me one as well. I love them.
Well, that was the whole thing, wasn't it? That was what you were like, oh.
Because the thing is with her quality on it now, what I love, every single time you do them, these are what the pieces look like inside, and each one of them is named as to what you're doing.
Do you want to
It
just
tells
put
you
that
the
on a little
size,
close up?
and also tells you the colour that you're doing.
Nice.
Honestly, she's genius. It's
thinks
so,
of
so
everything.
simple, but she really
Because she's got
does.
that expertise and that knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I love as well is that you've got the round eyes for the snowman if you want the round eyes. Otherwise, in the templates for the reindeer, you've got the oval eyes. And I decided I wanted oval eyes on my snowman.
Oh, you get eye
There we go.
choices.
You get the little oval ones there, or you get the
Oh.
round ones over there. You've got the choice of the different ones there. But I do think that if you look at all the bling that's coming on tomorrow,
Yes,
that
you
is the
can
one
bling
do.
them up.
And we've got our, even though he's in the wrong place with his little antler, we've got the start of our little reindeer, and he'll be
He's still
finished
looking
for
fabulous.
tomorrow.
Still looking
He
fabulous.
is lovely. I do like him a lot.
Myra says, do you want a thoroughbred who dismantles its rug after 5 minutes of putting it on? Myra, I think I've got enough horses, thanks, Myra.
Yeah, no, I definitely do not think Natasha needs another pony. No, sorry. In fact, I'm actually invoking a veto. No more
What?
ponies. No, you have an entire herd of them.
Yeah,
You don't need
that's
another.
great for their
no,
mental well-being.
that's
having,
fine.
Being in a herd environment.
Sweetheart, no,
You're mean.
no.
I don't know that we can be friends.
Of course we can. Listen, you know how much I love ponies as much as you do. I was very proud to be cross-country champion of my county for 2 years running.
Amazing.
I love cross-country. I miss it terribly. But you've got to have the horse. You've got to know what you're doing with your pony.
You do.
You really do. We will probably spend the rest of the day unpicking, shoveling Scotch eggs in for the rest of the afternoon.
Talking horses.
Look after yourselves. Stay safe. And with all the news of the current days, no licking anyone. It's not safe yet. Look after yourselves.
We'll be back again tomorrow. Oh no, with our wreath along.
Wreath along.
Wreath along and lots of Christmassy goodies just to get you in the mood.
Don't look. Don't look.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will see you. When we will see you, actually.
Yes.
Okay,
Gemma
good.
and I have got to talk. Oh, we didn't talk about the block of the month.
We didn't talk about block of the month.
Mm.
John's going to do a block of the month. We mentioned that. We did
We
mention
did,
it. We
yeah.
just didn't say what it
We
was.
haven't got dates yet
No, that's
No.
what we need to do.
because I've got to tell her about my 6-week holiday.
What?
I booked 6 weeks. I've decided if I don't, I'm going to murder someone. So from the 16th of December until the 1st of February, I am off.
Okay, so we'll start your block of the month in February then.
Perfect.
Excellent.
But the good thing is, Gemma will have all 12 patterns or 9 patterns before I go on holiday.
Amazing.
Got to be done.
Amazing. Julie says ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Susan says, thank you very much for a very wonderful demo. Myra says, Natasha, you have those patterns, Natasha. Had to
She
pop out
does.
halfway through. Yep. All right, awesome. Thank you ever so much, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.